Yeah, Film Vault. Welcome everyone to the Film Vault. That's Anderson. I'm Bryan Bishop, your host. Top 5 today. Top 5 Canadian characters assigned to us by the one and only Mitch Burns.
Mitch
Burns
The
coming
Mitch.
through this. We comped him this, yes.
What's that?
We comped him this, yes.
No, if anything,
Oh.
we owe him like one a month with the amount of work that he does.
That's what I'm saying. We comped him this.
Not really. I mean, comped is
We
like
paid him in trade.
Oh.
Yeah, we paid him in trade. We bartered. With
Okay,
him.
but
Not bartered.
we didn't
What's
make
it?
him pay for the privilege.
That's
is what I'm
barter.
saying.
It's barter, right? When you
Yeah,
trade.
but I'm saying we didn't make him pay for the privilege.
No, he didn't
Okay,
pay.
good,
God,
good.
God, no.
Good,
he
good.
was paying at one point when he was still doing all this good. Wait, what's
Oh,
going on with the
Mitch.
volume? I don't sound. What's happening here? Check.
We're also going to bring you
Check 1, 2,
hot,
check,
hot
check 1,
warm,
2.
still warm out of the oven.
Yeah.
Thoughts on The Killer, which was seen by me today,
Good.
just hours ago.
job,
Today.
buddy. Good
Yeah, that's
job.
right. Also, I had to go to a road game, a theater that's not my own.
Oh yeah.
One of the only theaters in LA playing the movie.
Your journey on down to enemy territory.
Yes, I did.
That's
I waded into a Westwood.
I was there Sunday.
Oh, it was rough.
It's exciting.
Dogs Don't Wear
It's exciting.
Pants was also assigned to us, and we'll also
By
talk
Nick Eats Cake.
The Holdovers. The Holdovers.
The
the new
Holdovers.
film from Alexander Payne.
Yes.
His name comes up on the show from time to time.
I like that Alex Payne quite a bit. One of my favorite movies.
Sideways, The Descendants.
Has been banned. Nebraska, Brian.
Nebraska, that's the one I'm thinking of.
He's got more, Brian. He's done others. Citizen Ruth
Just
comes to mind. Yeah.
There was a reason it was only okay. What was the reason?
No, we did the Little People one, which was
Yeah,
kind of a hit.
downsizing.
It was a miss. Downsizing was a miss. That was an Alexander
That's
Payne
his whole
special.
oof.
No. Of course, I'm dancing around election, which
You're not allowed to say that.
It's the fillet. I'm not allowed to have it on any lists anymore, Brian, because I was relying on it too heavily. But no, that is one of my all-time favorite movies.
That never stopped me.
Oh my! It hasn't. I think we've forgotten all
Yeah,
of the.
we should go back and revisit the band list.
No,
Although
he hasn't mentioned Manchurian Candidate. Maybe at
was
all
that
in
on
my
the list? I didn't
tenure.
remember.
Oh, that's
if it was
pretty
on the list
good.
or not.
That's impressive, Brian.
Remember Anderson put Transformers the cartoon, the animated film, on the list. I remember that. And Aliens for some reason.
Did you talk about the birthday
Aliens?
tribute I sent you?
Yeah, you're always
A
all
few
over
weeks ago.
Alien. Oh, about Schmidt. We
Did-
forgot about Schmidt.
I don't think you did.
I talked about it to you.
What's
Yes.
going on? I'm
think
on
Anderson
the
knows.
show and I'm confused. What's happening?
We were talking about Transformers, and Christy, Brian's lovely wife, solicited birthday wishes for Brian about a month ago.
Oh yeah. Were you on that?
I was. And Brian, do you want to tell Anderson? what
Avery
my video
was comically drowned out by the sounds of Transformers in the back. It was a game, right?
No, it was
actually-
the horrible one with Marky Mark.
Yeah,
Wait.
it was game quality because
Yes.
like it looked good, but I'm like all I hear is noise.
And I was sitting, I had myself set up so the camera was facing me. I was in front of the TV, and I had my TV on so loud it was distorting, like concert levels where it was
just this
clipping,
cacophonous
and you could
noise.
barely hear me, and it's just monsters
Oh, so this is
just smashing through
engineered.
windows. Yes, and I'm just saying, Brian, it's fun to do this, and you can barely hear me over the sound of
that's
the scraping metal.
kind of how Brian, I think, interprets you. Like whenever you're talking, he
Yeah.
is just thinking about Transformers fighting.
All I hear is
And it took exactly 60 seconds of me doing that for my neighbor to bang on the wall.
Oh, really?
Playing so loud.
Oh, the life in an apartment.
I really hope you just explain what happened. Like, listen, I'm making a video
Yeah.
for my beloved friend.
What, Marky Mark's not
But
cool
I thought-
anymore?
Dude, you
Love
had an opportunity
What?
to say like one of your favorite.
Boss. I
Yeah.
know.
That's one of your
that's
favorite
true.
go-tos. You
And
had an
I-
opportunity right
It
there.
doesn't feel the same if it's not going to you.
And I could have gone, I was making this for a man with cancer.
That's Dad. Now you're talking. He doesn't have much time left on this earth.
Oh, I got interviewed since last time we sat
Oh, is
down.
that true?
I got interviewed for your the Brian's World
Oh,
documentary that's coming out.
I hope that's
Yeah.
the name, Brian.
That's the subtitle, Anderson.
I told your director that's what I call it every time I do any work on it, and I always upload the clips, and it's
That's how
always
you invoice?
in a folder of Brian's World. Yeah,
How dare you?
that's what it's called, right? No,
That's the subtitle again. Brian's World will be in smaller type. How did it find it to be a pleasurable experience?
yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was weird being on the other side because
Hey,
I've been doing so
thanks
many
for doing it.
interviews for like my documentary, and I've done interviews and plenty of interviews, and it was weird being interviewed.
Were you doing the Costner thing on A Perfect World where you're telling Clint Eastwood how to direct film?
No. Well, when we walked in the car, I was talking a little bit about sales reps and distribution and that kind of thing. I was, He asked.
We got
It wasn't
people handle- we got
it
people-
wasn't
we got
unsolicited.
people
He
handle
did
it.
tell me about a couple of your USC fucks that have been down this road before that have connections. Apparently, part of the boys' club. I get that, but no, it
That's
was.
right.
Dom is Bryan's director. I had only emailed back and forth with him for
you didn't
the
know
last
what to expect. You were expecting
the last number of months, and I was knowing Bryan the way I do. I didn't know from just my emails with Dom who Dom was going to be when he showed up, and I was anticipating that 25-year-old scarf-wearing USC shirt toting.
That is
kid.
the opposite.
He was more like me than anything that I would have imagined.
Dom's the most. I've said it before. He's the most blue-collar, creative person I've ever met.
He's
more than Corolla.
He's pretty good.
Up there.
I enjoyed talking to him quite a bit. I hope he had enjoyed talking to me. It's always hard to tell. You know what I mean? But we were talking. We came across something kind of funny, which was, and this is kind of true, I think. When the first Laps at Bryan happened, 15 years ago,
the fundraiser,
yeah, the fundraiser, that was kind of seen as like a make-a-wish for you, right?
Yeah, it was kind of a hearty goodbye.
Yeah, it kind of was like you get to be on stage.
Yeah.
You have all like these quasi-celebrities saying nice things about it. It's kind of like your wet dream.
It was kind of Truman Show-esque.
It was.
It's like,
but you were in on the Truman.
Let's take this schlub and put all the attention on him. It was a reality show, in fact, a one-night reality show.
It kind of was, which was like an adult man's Make-A-Wish. And one of the favorite comments, and I still cite this as one of the funniest things I've ever seen, which is completely unfair. Fuck this guy who said it. It's funny though. You disappeared after the Laps at Bryan, the original show.
I did?
Yeah, you went to Italy and you were gone.
Oh,
you were kind of out of the limelight for a while.
I fled the scene.
You were very sick. And somebody, I don't even remember where it was or what message board it was on, but somewhere it said, "Hey, has anyone seen Bald Bryan? Does anyone know where he is or how he's doing?" And somebody just immediately wrote right underneath. They just wrote, "He's in Italy spending our money."
See, it's a little bit accurate.
It's funny and true.
Funny and true. Can we talk movies? This is
we were talking movies.
Yeah, we were talking about the making of movies. Sorry. Can we talk movies?
Do we have anything else to discuss?
I don't think so.
With your short?
No, Loaded for Bear. It got shot. I try and stay away. I nervously
The bear got shot.
I scrubbed through all of the footage. It's close to 4 hours of footage, believe it or not, for a 10 to 12 minute short. And I scrubbed through as much of it as I allowed myself to scrub through. And I'm going to start the actual edit probably Thursday or Friday. I try and always separate myself for about a week before I actually start assembling it together. But it looks like we have all the pieces. I'm fairly confident we have all the pieces. The documentary is continuing. I was actually talking with Carano the whole way here. Thank you for those of you who continue to support this. We are getting very close to actually being out of the red and into the black, which do not tell my wife, but yes.
What a day that'll be.
I had to put a lot of stuff on credit cards to make sure we made payroll, which I promised myself I want to do with this one. But you get to the point where like you're going to make the short or you're not going to make the short, and you only have a limited, like a small window to make the short. You got to do what you got to do.
You got to make the short.
Especially when Carano's shaking it down for money.
Well, he's not at all. But I got a couple loans.
I know a guy if we need a loan.
3 of our producers, myself included, put stuff on credit cards and put stuff, everything that goddamn Film LA had put me through. Like I just gave them I was like, here's my credit card. Here's my credit card. Light it up. Just you know what? Fucking light it up, Film LA.
I'll fly to wherever I want.
On me. I'm already like close to my limit anyways. Let's hope that it actually clears. But light it up, Film LA.
All the points.
But you guys have been coming in and helping all the points. You guys have been coming in and giving. So thank you very much. 501c3. You can most likely write it off. I'm not a tax professional, but loadedforbeardoc.com. I haven't even looked at it the last couple of days. I've been too busy moving forward, Bryan. Gotta move forward. Yeah.
Good.
How you doing?
But the short's in your rear view, and you are moving forward.
No, that's not true. I still got
long ancient history.
It's probably gonna take me two solid working weeks to cut it. We'll see. And then I got to get a sound mix, color, and I'm hoping to get away with not putting a score on it. I know I want music at the very beginning, but I don't want to score throughout.
Oh.
I hate telling people how to feel. I hate it.
That's what I'm all about.
Score, the score like takes people by the hand. They're like, "Here's what we want to feel right now. We want you to feel. This is whimsical."
Oh, speaking
this
of
part's
scores,
whimsical. Now this part's funny. This part's dramatic.
You know what? Speaking of scores, thank you, Avery. I was remiss to mention that of all the problems I had with Killers of the Flower Moon last week, we'll get to that in a second.
Score was not one.
I quite liked the score.
Score was great.
Yeah,
and he used
good.
it very effectively. It was a well-directed movie. Killers of the Flower Moon was a very well-directed,
And it
which
looks
you'd
great.
imagine. And it looks great. It
I
was,
later concluded and said on the La Maga podcast that it's a bad, good movie. Like, its underlying movie is good. There's just so many problematic elements on top of it.
Would it be an excellent movie to have on in the background? Like, just have muted at a
there's
party?
a lot of excellent movies that are actually excellent that you could have on in the background, too, though.
That's true. But the visual
But you don't
feast.
you don't need to pay attention. The visual feast, there's a lot of, like, long dialogue-driven scenes like, at a table.
Could you cut out the dialogue and just at the score and the visuals?
Here's what I thought I was getting into, though. This was a bit of a surprise when I watched The Killers of the Flower Moon, and maybe this isn't fair to the movie because I was making my own preconceived notions of what I was about to sit down and enjoy for 3.5 hours, and which was this. Native American people. They're on the reservation. They're being treated poorly by the white man. We've all heard. We know. It's bad times for them. Look at that. Black gold. Things change. We get to see how that changes.
Okay.
We get to see like how some of the Native Americans actually it makes their lives better. Some of them it makes their lives worse.
Yeah, they assimilate.
And then ultimately, about at the 3-hour mark, maybe the white man comes in at the halfway point. You know what I mean? And then he starts trying to get his grubby hands on it. But like I thought they were going to actually see, and it just starts off with a bang. Like they're dancing in slow motion at the beginning of the movie.
Everything you just described was prologue. I thought that was going to be about. I thought it was going to be about that.
I could have used a little more buildup of the angry white people. Like, I really liked the Native Americans having them as like the chauffeur. Just open my shit.
Yeah.
And do that. That would have been
like
more enjoyable and
Can you
interesting.
believe I'm going to do this for this guy? Like,
Are you fucking kidding me? Is this? Yeah.
Yeah. The white population seeing them, like reading about it in the paper, like the slow build to that, and then the second half of the movie, like that's what I thought I was getting into, and I was like shocked when I saw within the first 3 minutes they're slow motion dancing around the black gold. Disappointing.
Yeah, there would have been an interesting angle to go at.
But no, they're just like,
the
hey,
rise of the Osage as economical powers.
this is point A right here. We're going to take 3.5 hours to get to point B.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at
It's going to be just a straight story.
And I would be point A as well.
All right, speaking of movies.
What are the people?
Tell me what the people have seen.
Fanflickssion compiled by the aforementioned Mitch Burns.
The topic assigner.
TBD, is it? Michael Mara, Five Nights at Freddy's. My kids love this shit. The puppet things were fun, but I need a lot more of that and a lot less of the main character's miserable existence. Not nearly high enough on the fun scale.
Oh, you would think that'd be the one saving grace, even if it wasn't a great movie.
It's fun.
I wouldn't know.
Fun free. Do we want to guess the FNAF score?
50.
15.
15.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, 33.
Wow.
Eric Holmes on Facebook.
Hey, Ham Slime. It's my buddy Eric Holmes.
The Killer.
Oh, look at Eric crushing it.
Trying to scoop me. Don't appreciate.
I bet he got a screener, that fucking son of a bitch. I need to get screeners.
Maybe he'll kick down. You can screen it on Netflix in a couple of weeks.
I know.
It's not Seven. It's not
What is
Zodiac.
It's better than Zodiac. It's not like Zodiac.
It's kind of a procedural, but from the point of view of an assassin. Feels like a step-by-step guide on how to murder a bunch of people and get away with it. Much like Gone Girl, there are certain people who shouldn't watch this simply because it'll give them ideas. I don't disagree with that. It might have been giving me ideas in the theater. David J. on Reddit, The Holdovers. A very authentic early 70s era character-based throwback. I didn't get all the feels it was throwing, and there's nothing unexpected or unique, but good performances and nice direction made this a nice 2 hour plus at the movies.
I disagree. I think there was one or two unexpected things.
And lastly,
Like when he tried to touch him. That was weird.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
I did not see it coming.
I liked the sex scene between the two. Mitch, When Evil Lurks is on Shudder now. Bruce Perky was singing its praises, and I can see why. It's brutal and heavy, but great. Don't read anything about it or watch the trailer. I'm way ahead of you, Mitch. Just turn off the lights and watch.
Look at that. Eric Holmes and Bruce Perky of Cinematics getting... they're sliding into our DMs here,
That's right. They're getting their hands dirty.
Is that it?
They're getting the scoop. That's it.
Is that all we got?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the feedback. And let's talk about a few of those movies in Flickfessions. Anderson, you want to talk Holdovers?
Yeah, I could do that.
Holdovers, The Holdovers, is the new film directed by Alexander Payne, written by David Harrington. I mention that because David Harrington, I'm sure is a great guy, is not a writer of known known repute. Yeah, this is not a guy I recognize a lot of his work, a lot of TV work. But apparently the story is that Alexander Payne saw a very old French film, was inspired to make this, described what he thought the story should be to writer David Harrington, who wrote the script, delivered it to Alexander Payne. Alexander Payne loved it, and here we have The Holdovers, starring Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sessa. I wrote that down. It's his debut. More on that later. Davine Joy Randolph, who was really good in Dolomite Is My Name. And
Miss Reed, right?
What?
Miss Reed?
Miss Reed. That's
Lady
right.
Reed.
Yeah, you're right. Good call. And also Carrie Preston. 96% Rotten Tomatoes. This is in theaters now. I assume on a... No, I probably assume wrong. Is this a Apple film?
Wait, 96?
Yeah.
Tight. No.
I should have looked up.
I don't
I don't care.
it is.
It's in theaters now. Strong candidate, in my opinion, for Best Original Screenplay. I can certainly see that happening. Also, good dark horse bet for Best Supporting Actress.
I'm going to go Best Supporting Actress with Davine.
Yeah, she's great.
Divine.
Exactly
as well as Giamatti. Best lead.
Best actor.
Crushes it.
He was great. And so was this kid, Dominic. I looked him up because I'm like, where do I know him from? He's good. I recognize him. Turns out I was dead wrong because according to IMDb, this is his only credit listed. Which is rare because usually you'll see like, oh, they're in a short or some sort of college student film or something. No. His only credit is this film.
Well, it was kind of a dead giveaway in the opening title sequence when it said introducing.
Yeah, but they take liberties.
Hey,
he could be a,
You're right. They do.
TV actor or something. Anyway, I did not recognize him one bit, and he was very, very good. This whole movie's good, if I may. Started out a little tropey, a little slow, a little obvious, a little predictable. I'm like, yeah, I get it. The cranky old teacher and the student who's kind of a miscreant. I see where this is going. And really blossomed by the third act. Like, I really enjoyed, stuck the landing, as it were, for me. Maybe, I forget who the listener was who reported on this one, said there were no surprises. I disagree. I found a couple of things in the third act to be surprising. Maybe I'm naive, but it worked for me.
It was Dave or Jay on Reddit.
Yeah, I was trepidatious going into this one. I was a little bit concerned because we've all seen this tired old cliche 100 times. The cranky old man with the young kid and ultimately
and the student-teacher relationship. It's like, all right, I've seen this. I know what this is.
And his heart melts a bit. It's going back to Scrooge and like the Grinch. I mean, it's just such a tired old formula. But Alexander Payne had me, driving across a few towns to go see it opening weekend because it's Alexander Payne and he does rarely disappoints. And I too was kind of like you, where it's like, all right, you know what? A couple good laughs. There were some great lines that were written early on for Giamatti,
but it was all kind of obvious.
I was enjoying his, but still, it was kind of a little Noah Baumbach-y almost. Like I get Noah Baumbach, David O. Russell, and Alexander Payne. They're all kind of in the same section of my brain a lot of the time, and parts of this movie could have been written or directed by any three of those guys. I think
this to me was like what I hope for from Wes Anderson, which is stylized
quality
set up. Yes, but I mean like
strong characters.
Yes, it's stylized. It's quirky. The characters all have some quirk to them, but this was a little more fleshed out, a little more real.
More dimension to
there. A whole lot of dimension to this, and it's a slow burn, and you don't realize it until about the halfway point, and then by the third act, you realize like this is a character study of three very broken people in a very particular time. And you're immersed and you're in it, and it's a slow burn, and it takes a while.
I was surprised to be as involved as I was by the end.
And I was very involved, and that's a testament to the writing to a degree, but I think it's the performances that really get us there.
The whole thing works. So the writing is great, the performances are great.
What Giamatti does is able to do with his face, and and with that
subtle makeup,
the eye was great. Like he's got a wandering eye, all throughout the whole movie, I really, really enjoyed this movie. This is like a warm hug. Like it's like a friend, like an old friend. I'll be able to like think back to years from now. Oh, The Holdovers. Like if I see a clip of it on TV or something, like this is a movie that I would love to return to and spend some time in that 1969 boarding in high school.
Yes, and this movie we're not, if it's possible, we're not giving it enough credit because this movie really felt familiar to like Sideways. You know what I mean? Like similar character arc, similar character types. It's not the same character, but it's like, okay, I've seen this, the failed artist.
I'm not a giant Sideways fan.
Want to be intellectual.
I've seen it one time. So it's like, and I remember there's that one scene that really sung for me, which was the naked scene. I think it was, who was it? I forget his name. He was running down the street trying to get, the naked guy that stole his wallet.
Character.
No, it was a guy. Yeah, it was a character actor like from Lost. What's his name?
You have to look that up.
Yeah, whatever. But this one, I think it's a testament to how good the craftsmanship of this movie, at the risk of sounding like a douche. Like, it's so paint by numbers, but it still overcomes.
This could have failed in a lesser director's hands.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'd say by the end, there was some slight misdirections, and it was pretty like.
It definitely took chances, and those chances were precarious.
And you don't get away with those chances if you don't have the performers.
They're big swings.
Yeah, they are big swings. And this is a very point A to point B movie that worked for me because, as detestable as the characters were at times, by the end you actually felt for them, and
It's a good point. Like on paper, neither of the two leads.
There's three. I would almost say that she's a lead.
True, but I'm saying she's sympathetic, and I like her. If that character is a person, I don't want to associate with either of the two guys.
Yeah,
I don't want to be around them.
Like if I went to visit her in her little living area where she's watching the dating game, and I saw that they were already in there, I'd probably just turn around. Game. Yeah, newlywed game. I just turn around and leave. Like I want to see her, but I don't want to see them, so I'm out. Yeah, but ultimately by the end, he's a character that I will always think of, and even though I knew what he was, I knew what he was going to become, but I didn't know that they're going to be able to do it that effectively, and it did. It got me. I wasn't crying, but
because he did it on his own terms. You know what I mean?
I was emotional. For
that
sure.
character. I know exactly what you're saying, but that's spoiling it. The character gets to the place he's going to get to, but the fact that he's still him, and the character is still true to itself. You know what I mean?
And it's the reveals, the discoveries as to how he got to where he is and what motivates him it was interesting, and I think that it was plausible, and I know people like that in my life that I've worked with that are just miserable pricks who just want to make other people miserable, and they're very good at what they do. They're the smartest people in the room, but they're all about just twisting the knife. I know something happened to them. I don't think I'll ever find out, but you find out with this one, and it was plausible and it was very satisfying. I really like this movie a lot.
Now, before we oversell it, this is a subtle movie.
It's
a slow burn. There's not uproarious laughter. There's some solid chuckles and some good, especially from what's her name, from Davine Joy. She's great, and she has a lot of good zingers and a lot of she acting with her face. You know what I mean? Like she is reacting to the pomposity of these two characters, especially the Paul Giamatti characters. It was great. I enjoyed her role.
And there are some moments where you're obviously feeling for her as she's going through the paces. Right. And as much as I disliked Giamatti's character to begin with, I really, really, my heart went out to him by the time the movie was over. There's a couple things that happen where it's like, oh no, don't do that to the guy. And I was ready to really be sad for this guy for being crossed, and without giving things away. And the kid was great. I don't know if you remember, but there's a movie called Election, Brian. And Chris Klein.
There it is again.
Chris Klein came out of that movie. And
what is that?
As the story goes, Alexander Payne was actually touring various high schools to possibly shoot Election at, and he was, which is weird, like you're letting a grown ass man into a high school to check out the high school while it's in session. But as the story goes, he literally bumped into Chris Klein and then asked somebody like, "Who's that kid? Has he ever acted? Like, I'd like him to maybe be in my movie." And that's how Chris Klein's career began. And I guess it's ended now. I haven't seen the old Chris Klein in a while.
He was a big-ish star for a while.
I like that Chris Klein quite a bit.
Yeah, he's genuine.
Who knows? Maybe I'd be dead. There's a line in Election.
Oh, will we see him in Election too?
Oh, you gotta hope. You gotta hope.
God hope.
I interviewed that Chris Klein. He is pretty much the character.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, playing himself.
Good to know. All right, excuse me.
We gotta take a break.
What's that?
We gotta take a break
already.
Don't we? Isn't it time?
Oh, we're just doing halfway point for each of the shows.
Don't ask me. I don't know shit.
I'm dying.
Brian's not going to make it to the second.
I know. I was going to say, better take a break now.
Take a break before it's too late.
Take a break before it's too late. You want to talk dogs?
We do dogs, or you want to bring up the rear with killers? I just talked a lot.
I know.
The Killer. Curious. Should I waste 2 hours of my time on the couch? You're a much bigger Fincher fan than I am.
True.
I have not found anything to the level. I loved Seven too much, and it kind of killed Fincher for me because I love it so much. You love
Social Network?
Quite a bit, but it's a completely different flavor.
Oh, yes, it is. That's one of the things I love about Fincher is he will do, while still being true to himself, like, i.e. every movie you see of his is in some way a Fincher-esque. It's a different flavor every time. Hence, Killer.
Usually vanilla, though. That's the problem.
What happened?
Usually the flavor's vanilla.
No, stop it. That's absurd. David Fincher directed The Killer, directed by Fincher, written by Andrew Kevin Walker. Yes, the team from Seven reunites, starring Michael Fassbender as the titular killer. 89% Rotten Tomatoes. This has a limited run in theaters, and it'll be on your home screens on Netflix as of November 10th. So just a couple of short weeks, not even 10 days from now, or 1 week, as it were. Jesus, where are we?
Do some more math, Brian. We love it.
This was number 1 on my fall preview.
Didn't make mine.
I'll have you know. And what we have here is a much less fun Gross Point Blank. This is about a killer, a professional assassin.
Goes back to high school.
Hence the title. And much like Gross Point Blank, the movie opens with an assassination assignment gone wrong.
Oh.
And
I've never seen that on film before. That'll be exciting to see.
No, well, this will be the first time then.
Okay.
And it turns out the assassination did not go according to plan, and the client is upset, and the handler is going to make good by having Fassbender exterminated.
Oh, so Fassbender is the killer. He's the one who botched the assassination attempt.
That's right.
And now his head's on the line. There's a price on his head from the guys that hired him.
That's right.
As well as the people that he maybe tried to kill. So it's like a double whammy.
But it becomes kind of a John Wick story in a sense because
we need more of those.
He goes home to his hidden home in Dominican Republic, and to find that it has already been broken into.
Oh no, they're onto him.
Yeah, and they have
good intel.
And the filmmaker shows some restraint by not having the girlfriend/wife killed, just hospitalized, injured badly.
Well, did she come in later in the story to be able to give some facts that were needed for the plot? No.
She's in
purely eye candy.
She's in 2 scenes. Anyway, Fassbender then becomes bent on revenge.
Why was it good taste to not have her killed?
Yeah, Giovanni can shed some more light on this, but that's called having a girl fridged. Basically, you have her killed. You kill a woman, i.e. a girlfriend or a wife, to
propel the story. Yeah,
launch the plot.
But it sounds like they did that anyways. They just let her fake
live.
They
really did. So I'm saying at least she wasn't killed.
Okay.
At least just given the dignity of having some lines on the screen.
Does it seem unrealistic though? Like, would they have left her alive? Are we pulling punches?
That was less clear.
Did you see it?
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. In a movie that was...
I'm going to twist it to you.
In a movie that was very realistic, that was maybe one of the least realistic
because
parts.
There's blood all over the house, and you're like, oh, they slaughtered this girl.
And
it's like, oh, no, she's at the hospital. It's like, she is?
Beat the absolute fuck out of her, and you go, yeah, why? Especially,
Especially given the stakes, like... This is a kill or be killed world.
You know what would have been fun?
Yes.
Is if whoever did that job and they botched it and they let her live, now there's somebody after them.
On him, yeah.
And then they botch, and then it's just
a
domino
whole
effect. So everyone, it's a daisy
daisy
chain of people botching.
That'd be fun.
That'd be so much fun.
That said, so for me, in the hierarchy now, 10 Fincher films, not counting Alien 3, I ranked this. How do you
not count Alien 3? It's a feature debut.
It's not a complete film. It's not the film you want.
It ends with a crucifix in space.
What is it above for you?
Above only Gone Girl and Dragon Tattoo.
What about Mank?
Oh fuck! I forgot about Mank.
Or the Game. You like the Game though?
I like the Game a lot.
Panic Room.
I like
Panic Room. I didn't care for as much.
There's just nothing comes close to 7, with the exception of maybe Fight Club. But looking back at Fight Club, it's just such a broy movie. I can't even love that one.
For me,
so broy.
For me, it's 7, Fight Club, and Social Network in that top tier.
Yeah.
And there's a drop off to.
You love the button. You love the bench.
Which is actually a rapport for me.
It's absurd.
The Game Zodiac or Game Panic Room.
I
Zodiac.
really like Zodiac.
Yeah. That's the thing.
This might be. I didn't see Mank. I had no interest in Mank. This might be my least favorite Fincher, but I still enjoyed it.
Did you see Gone Girl?
Yes, I liked Gone Girl. I like Gone Girl. I liked Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Yeah. I have not delved into Benjamin Button. It just seems.
You haven't seen it? Oh, it's so good.
Have you seen Mork and Mindy?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't? Because Jonathan Winters plays the character. He's their baby because they're aliens, and he what happens is you're born out of an egg as an old man, and then you get younger as the days go by. They had problems with the makeup.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's what Benjamin Button.
Yes,
did.
I don't like
Benjamin Button's story existed far before the market.
Not to me, it didn't though.
Oh, I see.
In my world, it didn't.
Okay, fair enough.
If this movie, I could have watched an entire 90-minute movie about the first 20 minutes of him talking about his process, him setting up.
Oh, you wanted to learn more about
that
killing.
Because I went into it no trailer. I didn't know any of what Bryan just said. I didn't know if the assassination would be successful. I didn't know where any of this was going. So I really liked. He talks about his ethos and what it takes to be the person that he is, and what his process is, and the techniques he's using. It was very grounded.
It's got a Fight Club-esque narration, a little less wry and more sort of intense.
Yeah.
What?
I don't like that.
Oh, well.
I don't need like intensity in my killer explaining how he kills.
But it's more about his
deliberate and matter of fact, and
it's more like thoughtful, I guess. I think it's good when you're dealing with a director who, in my opinion, is as great as Fincher. When you're talking about like his 7th best film, still really good. I like this movie.
The score was very troubling.
Wait, you talking about The Smiths?
No. Not the soundtrack. The score, the sound where it was just ambient sounds like.
There was
just
okay.
Was it
noises?
Was it Atticus and Trent Reznor?
There was no. Imagine that, but no beat behind it. It was like.
Was it them again?
It's.
I believe it was.
It sounded like you were grinding 2 iPhones together underwater in a very disturbing fashion.
That said, the Smiths are prominently featured.
And
what's the problem with that?
used.
No, not a problem at all. I was mentioning it.
And it was maybe a little distracting the way they integrated it, playing sort of for the character through the headphones and then him taking it out. The cuts between that were a little bit distracting, but I overall enjoyed that. For me, the movie was going to live and die on how it stuck the landing. And I found the ending very unsatisfying.
I agree, but I think that was
extremely unsatisfying.
You're thinking of Zodiac, I think.
No, I found
this isn't ambiguous. This is
really?
The character makes a choice that you don't think he's going to make, and you don't
Okay, well, let's careful. Let's be careful.
Or even the choice the character does make, you go, okay, and what now? And then it sort of is done.
Yeah. Yes, without giving away anything.
So there's like a 4th act that they just didn't do?
The movie comes to a head.
And it's all clearly building because it's one of those movies where it's divided into chapters, and each chapter is a different location. So
it's a video game movie.
Chapter 1, the mark. And then chapter 2, like New Orleans, the lawyer.
It's very John Wick-esque in that respect.
How much raining is happening?
Almost none. I don't know if there's any.
There's a bunch of raining.
But so it's
a little bit. I think at one point it's misting when he's on the ferry.
Yeah, but it's divided into chapters like that, so it's inherently building and building and building and building, where it's like bigger boss and more into, and then it kind of ends, and it was a bit anticlimactic for me.
For what it's worth, I've been thinking about it for the last hour before the show, and I agree with you, but I think that was a deliberate choice on the filmmaker's part to have the character make that choice that is not satisfying to the audience, but at least gets the character to where they want him to be or intended him to be by the end of the film. You know what I mean? Like,
are you giving credit to Fincher because it's Fincher, and like if this was a no-name director, you would not be doing this?
I like Avery. I found it unsatisfying, but maybe I am then in a sense. Like it would be as if Denis Villeneuve made this movie, it'd be like, yeah, he obviously wanted to have this character in this place at the end. Audience be damned. You know what I mean? Like there's a
and I found it believable too. It's not like it happened and I went, "Oh, come on!" I saw it and I went, "I fully buy that the character would do this." It just wasn't.
And it had the coda or denouement that happens at the very end kind of reinforces that. It's like I can't say what happens, but there's a moment. There's a riding off into the sunset moment, like that.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, that it adds up. That all makes sense. I don't know that I found it. I don't know that my bloodlust was satiated.
Yeah, but But to the listener's point, I found it very interesting, all the practical murder that was included in this.
Yes, I agree. That was the best part for me.
And evading security in just everyday ways, and just, this door is this security system. This is how you get around
drive
it.
that way. Remember the opening scene of Drive where he's so meticulous?
I was thinking Drive just now.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that. There's actually a lot of that.
I like the way the technology was integrated, too.
That dude's phone never died.
Yeah.
What happened?
That dude used his phone for everything, and it never died.
So he would see, like, this gives nothing away, but he'll see a character has a gym bag that they're putting into his town car. He'll see the name of the gym, put it on Google Maps. Google Maps shows up as an iPhone on the side of the screen. You see it routing this. He sees, it's 10 minutes away, closes the phone.
It's a very modern movie.
He does like that. He orders something on Amazon. He does that a couple times, and it's
he needs to
effective and interesting.
He needs to break into a door that's locked by like a smart lock.
Right.
So you see him order
like a key fob decoder.
Yeah, exactly. And he picks up
Amazon.
the next day in an Amazon locker, opens it, works it, and gets into the door. You know what I mean? Like, it's that level of detail where it rivals James Bond movies in terms of like technology and like what.
It's like realistic though.
And that's
It
what
is.
was.
That's the separation. It's like, okay, I can see all this.
And that's what was kind of odd and very unsettling about it was all very believable down to all the brands are in it. You see. Like in the first thing,
they're getting into bed with this.
But they
killer
kind of go out of
character.
their way where, like, he's the building across the street of the hotel where he's trying to kill the guy. He's in an abandoned WeWork, and the way they do it, they go out of their way to show he's in a WeWork. They didn't have to do that, but they're implying that. He mentions Airbnb at one point and why he doesn't use them.
Or whatever it was.
Yeah, he mentions Postmates,
Does he
Airbnb.
use Postmates to like help him with the
to get into like a secure
I wonder
building.
if they knew this beforehand.
So
He's like, these rich guys live in a secure building, but they'll let Postmates in.
So it's
or whatever it is.
it's very.
I don't like the idea of like security, like watchdogs watching this, and then they're going to clamp down even more. I mean, there's already so many inconveniences because of like 1/10 of 1% that
you'll never have to deal with that.
You're a white guy. You're fine.
You'll never have to deal with that.
I deal with that shit all the time.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have permission to be in here?
You just need a recycle.
Just last night when I was sneaking into Taylor Swift's movie, I one of the ushers said that to me.
What gave it away?
Are my daughters in there?
No, I used to hear that quite a bit. I don't hear it nearly as much as a middle-aged man now, but I would hear that all the time. Excuse me, sir. Are you excuse? I would get so,
look at you. You're a miscreant.
Not anymore. Look at me.
That's what I mean. You were
A little sketchy maybe, but people don't fuck with me. I can tell you that. Like if I'm walking down the street, like
what color was your hair at this point? Was it
I mean, I had mohawks and blue hair and stuff. It was my own choice, but yeah, I would get fucked with all the time, Brian. So yes.
What'd you think of the fight scene?
It was great.
I thought it was a very good fight scene.
Here's the one question.
The only problem, I
need to know, and the listeners need to know.
The fight scene is that it was too dark.
Yeah,
I would have liked it to be a little more.
Was it raining during the fight?
It was
scene?
inside.
No, it was inside. And I did his commentary on Florida was quite enjoyable.
That was good.
This sounds like a dry version of American Psycho.
Oh, it's nice.
It's one that, thinking back on it, I'm kind of liking it more and more. It's very unsettling and weird, and I wasn't even really sure what I finished watching once it was done. It doesn't even really have a value judgment on anything at the end. It's very kind of...
I'm actually really glad it's on Netflix in a couple of weeks or so, because this is a movie
November
I think
10th.
would benefit from rewatching.
Yeah, it's very amoral. It's never really telling you how to feel or what you should feel. The character's just doing something for the sake of doing it and serving a function.
At the end of the day, it's a simple revenge
Yeah.
story.
It sounds like Man Bites Dog, like a very unfun version of Man Bites Dog.
But there is some fun. I had fun with Fassbender's character.
It's brisk.
Yeah. Does Fassbender, is he
It's all
playing,
jaunty.
does he belong in the movie?
Oh, yes.
Because Fassbender, so many times in recent years, like he's acting his balls off in a movie that he should not be.
He's actually kind of underplaying it.
Okay,
he's
good.
he's so monotone, but then the voiceover is like reinforcing it's his inner monologue, like don't get involved. Or what do you say? Don't get whatever it was. Reminding himself not to get
don't deviate from the plan.
Yeah,
stick to the
empathy
plan.
for the weak.
Empathy leads to vulnerability. Vulnerability does that, and he'll just be repeating mantras like as something goes wrong or he gets his ass kicked or hearing his internal monologue. He's a little looser. He'll make inappropriate jokes or callous jokes to himself that are funny. So it has a little bit of Fight Club to that too, but it's only him hearing it.
There's a scene in an elevator where a woman laughs.
That was very good.
I enjoyed that very much.
That was very good.
I enjoyed that.
I liked it. I think I might weirdly now you're making me realize I might need to rewatch
I
it.
think I liked it more than I did when I sat down for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about it with somebody else, a lot of the time we'll do that, right? Here's the question, though. We need to know, like, for the people that are like, they really like the theater experience, whatnot, for the right movie. Is it worth, making the trek or going way out of your way to watch it before
your
it's
thing is
available
it's always better in theaters.
It's always better, but there are some movies that
It doesn't. I haven't seen it on Netflix. I don't think it lives and dies by the theater, but it will be better in the theater.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can do that about every movie.
And
I
the
don't
score.
think the Holdovers would have nearly the effect on me that it did in the theater because, just seeing, especially with like the close-ups and the emotional things that Giamatti was doing, what great actors do with their face, I think it gets lost, even on a big screen in your own house. A lot of that gets lost.
I didn't find it to be showy, but I found like the camera work, but the camera work is so deft in any Fincher
And there
film.
it's very tight, and there is enough action there. And I think, honestly, the score is better in the theater. It's more unsettling.
It is.
With a good sound system, because that was really... It's almost subtle, because Brian didn't even really remember it. That kind of stuck out to me, and it's very...
I'm going to quote Anderson here and say, I think I like this movie.
it kind of fucks with you, where it's not apparent that it's even a score. It's just kind of sounds.
I don't think I can move it ahead of Zodiac, but I enjoyed this film.
It's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross
There you go.
experimenting with the medium.
It was good.
They are experimenting with the medium.
Fuck,
All right,
I might need to re-see this when this comes out.
Yeah, I was going to say, this might go to the top of queue.
let's take a quick
was
break
good.
and come back and talk about dogs don't have teeth.
Dogs, pantless dogs will be talked about after the break.
After 7 years, I had no clue about moving on from a life without you. And then one day, I saw her appear.
Yeah, we're back.
I really enjoyed his the reasoning behind his outfit that's revealed right away.
Oh, right.
Why he chose to look the way he does.
And it was funny. Yes. The shirts belied that strategy, but it also
Yes.
kind of made perfect sense. Where it's like, they're not here or there.
And I will never look at room service the same way again.
That was good. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this.
It was higher on the fun scale. The more I talk about
Yeah, I
it,
was
it's
gonna
more
say.
fun than I
I'm
thought.
thinking about it now, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I
Dogs.
think I love this movie. Dogs don't wear pants.
Here's a quick little a preview of a couple weeks from now. I'll come in and I will be talking about the at-home experience.
You'll
of the
be
killer.
furious that it was oversold.
Might
Yeah,
be.
you're gonna hate it.
I might. Yeah. How long?
You know what? Not very good.
Yeah. How long is it?
It's a piece of shit. Go into it thinking nothing.
Right around 2 hours.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
It's a huge commitment. Huge commitment.
Yeah, exactly. Too.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I were you. Dogs Don't Wear Pants was assigned to us by Nick Eats Cake. 2019 film directed by JP Vol.
You can do it.
No, I can't.
Smooth.
Valkeepa.
Valkepa.
Valkeepia.
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 90% Rotten Tomatoes. You can stream this on AMC or Shudder for the season. Yes, this is. How would you describe?
Well, let me give you a little background
Dogs Don't Wear
on Nick
Pants.
Eats Cake, who is a devoted listener, and I spoke with Nick earlier today. I really do love talking. I say that about everyone. I do love talking to all the listeners, and I really love talking movies with I love talking to all you guys. I really do. But Nick Eats Cake, the way that he breaks down movies, and he's just a soft-spoken, subtle guy, and you can tell there's a whole, he's a thinker, and his three of his favorite movies all came from 2019, which he's kind of like realized. Even though he didn't see them all in 2019, he caught up with them after the fact. But the three movies that he's had us watch are three of his favorite movies so far, and that is.
Oh boy.
I just froze.
Yeah, I was
just
going to
broke.
say, we got to reset Anderson.
That is. Baby Teeth. I was gonna just call it Teeth, but it was Baby Teeth. Remember where she's sick and she's got the parents and she's dating a guy that's much older than her.
Oh, yes.
And it's kind of like a Make-A-Wish situation. Very good, that Baby Teeth. Very good.
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable times. And he also assigned us Beanpole, also from 2019. And this rounds out
Yes.
the trilogy, the
That's
Nick
the
Eats
Russian
Cake.
film, Baby Teeth, the Australian film.
It was not remade in an Australian film. Was it what? Made into a...
Was Baby Teeth the one?
Oh,
where-
Baby Teeth. I don't know if it was remade into an Australian film.
I'm thinking when you said girl's sick and she's dating an older guy, that's the Ben Mendelsohn film, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Australian.
It's an Australian film. Yeah. What would you say? Russian film
The
made
first
in?
one, the one you beanpole, is a Russian film.
Yeah, it's a Russian film. Then
So,
then you said baby teeth.
And then Baby
I thought
Teeth,
you said.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
so-
I heard you say
No,
made into
I
it.
was bouncing back and forth.
And then to complete his 2019 trilogy of beloved movies, so says
Foreign
Nick Eats
films.
Cake, is Dogs Don't Wear Pants. So why don't you take it away there, Barbara?
Dogs Don't Wear Pants, the aforementioned 90% of Rotten Tomatoes, streaming on AMC or Shudder, if you will. And yes, this is all. If you ask what this was about, people might throw around things like bondage, domination, S&M, dominatrix.
And servant.
But ultimately, it's about unresolved grief, right? It's about
It's about a broken person.
coming to grips with your grief in a very odd way.
Yes. And-
Odd, unusual,
It's a journey.
non-typical.
We all know what S&M looks like. We all have an idea of it. Some of us have
Sure.
participated. I have never dipped my toe. It doesn't really seem to have anything for me,
I'm
but
glad you brought it up. I find BDSM very unsexy. Like it kind of turns me off.
yeah, it doesn't do anything for me, and
I want to be taken care of, Andrew.
it just clicks.
I want to be cuddled.
Well, you could be. It just clicks for some people, though. For some people, there's something in their brain, and something, and for me, it never has. Sounds like it never has for you. And I don't want to do broad brush stroking, but here I go. It's kind of similar to a furries, right? Like furries, it works for some people. I kind of almost understood the furries when I was at a convention at one point because we used to commingle with the convention that when the K-Rock Weenie Roast would happen, we'd all stay at the same hotel, and I was kind of looking at some of the foxes, and I'm like, I think I might be able to kind of understand this, but not quite.
That ain't
Much
it.
more so than I could with the BDSM. However, all these people come to BDSM. It's not like they're born into it, right? Gotta hope not, except for that newborn porn with the Serbian film.
you have no choice there.
But they come to it, right? And this is a man's journey in coming into BDSM and what
He
brought him
stumbles
there.
upon it almost literally.
He does.
Yeah. So it's just him and his daughter. With the first scene of the film, the wife departs the family.
She does.
It's just him and his daughter.
Watery grave.
And
Oh
now-
boy.
It opens up with a drowning, and that's the opening of the movie.
And
Yeah.
we fast
Opens
forward
up.
it years later. It's
Lovely.
just the dad and the teenage daughter.
Yep.
And he's taking her to get a tattoo.
Tongue ring.
You're right. To a tattoo parlor where they give her a tongue ring. You're
Her
right.
childhood is gone. Her innocence is gone. It's just him and his teenage daughter. She's getting a tongue ring. Ironically,
He's a
'cause
cool dad.
He's in a BDSM, I assume.
he's not in the BDSM yet, right?
He's
But he's
very
taking
straight-
his daughter
he's
to a
very
place
straight-laced.
to get her tongue done, and he's very straight laced. He's a heart
He's a
surgeon,
heart surgeon.
open heart surgery surgeon, right? Yeah, he's cold as ice. This guy, right? He can just do heart surgeries even though he's bereft. Very sad, sad man.
Yep. And we see him at
Broken
work.
man.
We see him with the daughter, and it feels as though all the joy has been sucked out of his life.
That's right. You know,
Until
He starts fucking.
he's stumbling around. Was he looking for a bathroom or something?
he was looking for something while the daughter was getting the tongue
The
set.
tongue. He didn't want to see it. Actually, they asked him, Dad, you better leave the room. This is too much for you. They only knew what his future held with his own mouth down the road.
Oh boy.
So he stumbles into this weird room, and this woman comes out, and she abuses him a bit. He might have got a little taste for it. Steps on his thumb. That thumbnail will eventually not be a part of his body, which we see in grotesque detail later. However, I think that was kind of necessary, as it was showing him metamorphosized into
the digression.
Yeah, this movie is not like a B slasher gratuitous,
No.
over the top.
It reminded me a lot of Headhunters in the character
really?
unraveling.
Yeah, there is
Well,
unraveling.
The really straight-laced dude, like the upstanding pillar of society,
Yeah.
who goes down a rabbit hole of one sort of.
He sidesteps his straight and narrow life. And this is a smart movie. This is a really well executed movie, and this is a movie that has a lot of detail and a lot of care, and it's got a point of view, and it's not at any point judgy.
No.
Even though
In fact, it goes out of its way to give you enough of her story to where you're like, all right, I'm on board
Yeah.
for both these characters.
and where they both arrive, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Another Round in the way that if this was an American movie, I think it would have ended in a very, very different flavor, a much different place.
I'll never forget the ending.
Now, the director,
I'll just say the ending. I'll just say this features
it brought joy.
our main. Speaking of which, our main character has an unremitting glee on his face.
He really does.
That I've never seen.
And
He's so joyful.
did it bring you joy?
In a sense, it did.
It brought me so much joy.
Whereas the moments leading up to that, I'm like, I don't know where this is going. This is not for me. And then he was so happy. I'm like, oh, good for him.
And I'm not Pollyannish, and I'm not naive, and I got Dr. Drew in my head. And he'll probably always be in my head for my 17 years of exposure to Dr. Drew. And he was in my head a little bit, like saying like this is unrealistic, and this man is not going to do well, and all that. Yeah. But I was happy for him in that moment. You know, he would have said the same thing at the end of another round.
He should have his license taken away.
He absolutely would say that. That actually does come into play at one point. Now, the director considers this a romantic comedy, which, if you really think of it that way, it could possibly be. It's at the very least a dark comedy.
That is stretching the definition of romantic.
It's like Toby Hooper thinking that he had made a PG movie when he cut around.
He really did think that a PG movie was being made when he did Chainsaw Massacre. He really thought he was making a PG movie.
Well, I didn't show it.
I talked about that, right?
Yeah.
He really believed.
Yeah.
He was like shocked when he sent it off to the MPA, and they're like, "Sir, you have an X-rated film in your hands." He's like, "X,
G."
I was hoping for G, a hard G possibly, but X.
I'm just gonna take the kids to this.
That's a good top five hard G's.
Hard G's. Oh, you know what? Not bad. That'll be a lot of research.
Yeah. Not really.
But ultimately, this movie is very hard to watch at times. I think
that's what I was gonna ask. Is what's the tone of this like? Is it sexy? Is it 8mm?
No. Dark comedy, but European dark comedy.
Okay.
And it's definitely a look into a psyche and a.
So is it like another round where it's kind of there is levity, but it's also kind of hollow and dark?
Yeah, like there's a scene with him and his coworker in the hospital, and his coworker's gay, and he's talking about he's talking about his daughter's. The protagonist is talking about his daughter's tongue ring, and then his coworker is talking about his boyfriend's Prince Albert, and he couldn't remember the name of it. And I guess Nick was telling me that that's where the germ of the idea for the entire movie came from with the director. He was thinking about that scene in a hospital, because you don't know what doctors are talking about before they're about to operate on your heart, and how that would go, and like where that germ of that idea could go, and just how far off the map these one of these guys could go. And really, it's about grief and about a broken human being trying to put himself back together, and the strange path he took.
Strange permutations.
And I believe, that I'm sure that there are stories that are very similar that ended up in the same place.
Right. Well, the thing that what Drew and Adam used to joke about all the time, which is the true observation, which is the dudes that are into S&M are the titans of industry, right? Like the captains of industry, the boss, the whatever. It's not the dude getting his ass kicked in 8 hours digging ditches or whatever.
Yeah, the warehouse worker is not getting whipped and thrown.
No, they get whipped in life all day long. You know what? This is going to sound wrong.
They're doing the whipping in the BDSM.
Right.
And Florence, if you're listening, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I thought of that exact thing that I heard Dr. Drew and Adam say, and it is true. I think that they've said that people that are in charge all the time, they just want to not be in charge. Florence is a very successful lawyer, right? She practices law. And she came to class like months ago to the Born Act players to watch class, and she participated. And I said, "How was that? Were you trepidatious or scared or nervous?" And she's like, "No, I just liked being told what to do." She's like, "Because I'm always telling people what to do, and I'm always in charge." And I thought of that in that moment. I'm like, "Oh no, is our friend Florence into the old BDSM as well?" But it's the same. It's the same kind of thing in a much more gentle. Fashion.
Yeah, it's someone else's responsibility now.
But yeah, she's like, just tell me where to sing, tell me like what dance we're doing, just tell me what. And she liked that.
that specific permutation applies only to men, because otherwise you see a guy kicking a chick's ass.
It's true. Yeah.
You rarely.
Well, they do have switches. I think they have switches.
I never.
Isn't that what a switch is?
I've never seen the male dom and the female stuff. I've seen female.
Really, that happens all the time.
Didn't you ever? I thought you went to like Corolla's barbecues.
Oh, how dare you,
Lynette?
No, but I've seen female.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I was making jokes.
There's male, female.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't say that authoritative, like you know.
They're saying.
Yeah, he seems to know.
I've been to places.
There used to be one right down the street from Loveline.
I get your toe, dude.
There was one right down the street from Loveline. And actually, it became a strip joint, but for a while it was a BDSM.
Where?
Maybe no. You know what? It came out in the news because there was a BD. I never did know where that place was, but apparently when the strip joint opened, which was where the the meat locker place used to be. It used to be like a meat packing place.
Really?
And I passed it to go on the freeway every night after
Now
work.
it's very built out.
And their trucks said like nobody. You'd see them driving around Culver City, and it said nobody beats our meat. Remember those trucks? And it was right
Yes,
there.
I remember.
And then it closed down, and they turned it into a strip joint. And the local city council were up in arms because I guess it was breaking a violation, like a city code, like a code where you couldn't have two sexual establishments within 1,000 yards of one another. And
Howard Hughes would be rolling in his grave.
then they cited, they're like, there's a BDSM club, within 1,000 yards of this new strip club. I'm like, there is? What? Where?
Tell me more.
Where's this place? I wanted to peek in,
Underground.
see what people were doing.
Drew's got to leave early at that show.
That seemed like a very realistic look at something I know nothing about, and I never questioned its validity. It really felt like they did their homework, or they were into it themselves, and they knew what they were talking about, and I like that. Now, there's an infamous tooth.
I didn't know about the tooth.
I had heard about it,
I had not.
and I didn't want any part of it. In fact, when I heard about it, I don't know why, I just thought it was a Korean film when I heard about it when this first came out. And I'm like, yeah, dogs don't wear pants. I don't need to watch that anytime soon because I don't need to see the tooth incident, right? And it rivals
There's some amateur dentistry.
it rivals Dogtooth,
It does.
which has got a dog in the title as well.
You know what?
Dog in their teeth. Yeah. You see
Which-
that dog
which,
tooth?
which is more intense? I have. You signed it to me.
I think dog tooth.
I have not.
Because you're not prepared for it. At least I wasn't when I first saw it.
That's more jolting, or this one's more.
It goes on
more
for a while.
visceral.
See, I'm off put just based on that with
Yeah.
Dogtooth.
But I think, I was talking to Nick about this today, like, I think that the tooth scene really shows his level of commitment. And it's almost necessary.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's. Usually they're necessary or effective. It's almost too effective for me. I just don't need to see it. I get it.
Yeah.
And I understand it's
Could have
important
done
to
it off
just
screen. We
really.
didn't really have to.
It's one of the few things that really affects me.
Yeah.
Is that
I think you're not alone.
Or when a character like takes the fingernail.
Yeah,
All,
both
that
of those
always.
things can be found in this
both
movie.
happen.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. You
got a twofer in this one.
More intense tooth
Twofer.
scene. Dogtooth. This movie. Human Centipede 2.
Human Centipede 2 is like, it takes the cake. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's the one of the worst because it's a hammer.
Isn't there a tooth scene in what is it, Marathon Man?
Yeah, that's the whole movie is a tooth. I was outraged the other day, Brian. My
Is that
young,
good? Should I see that?
Is it safe? Is it safe?
You tell
Yeah, you
us.
should see it. Just yeah, you should see it.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah, Schlesinger. You should watch that one. I didn't see it that long ago, but outraged, Brian, when my oral hygienist cleaning my teeth a couple months ago, and I was somehow it came up, and I'm like, oh, like Marathon Man, and she goes, I'm sorry, what is that? She
Of all the movies.
she went through so much dental schooling, and never once did anyone bring it up.
I was gonna say, I understand if she hasn't seen it, but
Never
she should
heard
be
of it.
aware of it.
Never heard of it. She's like, no, I'm waiting for TikTok to introduce it to me. What?
Wow.
She didn't say that. I would have fucking left with the bib around my neck still.
With the stuff with there. Still going.
Would have been like a fish on a hook trying to get out of there.
There's a fish in our living room.
What?
There's a goldfish.
I don't need that information in this moment at all, Brian. I have nothing to do with that
It's
info.
been acquired.
That's fantastic for you. You have a pet for the next couple weeks. Great. Brian.
I'm hoping they can die soon.
Would you go to a fair?
There was a pumpkin patch that was visited, and the
You
goldfish
throw a ping
was,
pong ball in the.
now was gifted by grandma.
I got in a fight at a fair. It was probably 7th grade, and some fuckhead. He was in 8th grade. Fucking Robert Pierce. Prick. Anyways, he took a goldfish, went to the top of the Ferris wheel, and threw it off in the bag. Oh, serious? Yeah, very, very lame. I got my ass kicked for that little goldfish that died. He beat the fuck out of me in front of a lot of people, but I was furious. Don't do that to a goldfish, you prick. You think chicks think that's cool? They don't. They don't think you're getting your ass kicked is cool either. So
I was gonna
we
say,
both lost
standing up
that
for
night.
the little guy.
We both
Well,
lost.
not
that
unless you're wearing patent leather.
night. Oh, they might have liked that. Yeah.
All
I
right,
never
thanks,
understood it.
Nick Eats Cake, for assigning us Dogs Don't Wear Pants.
They don't. Dogs don't have
Fun and
wives.
informative.
Yeah, I would recommend this movie to people that have the stomach, and it is informative, right?
The title is spoken.
And like little details, like he desperately wants to take his daughter back to like the Natural History Museum because that's where they used to go when she was like innocent and a little kid. And I totally tapped into that, and it's like and it could have been a zoo or anything, but the fact that it was the History Museum and that's his history, and his history is history now.
Right.
Because
Well, what
his little family
she,
is
the
gone.
dominatrix does outside of work or for work, I guess you
Yeah.
would say, that was great.
It was really good. Yeah, it was really well constructed and thought out, and which is not what I was expecting with this movie until Nick assigned it, and I'm like, all right, okay, maybe I wasn't giving this movie a chance.
Thanks, Nick. Good assignment. Appreciate you, buddy. Coming up next, we will do a top 5 assigned to us by Mitch Burns. Top 5 Canadian characters. Hey?
Oh, I was so proud of us
I
for.
know.
No.
Cut that out.
Nighty night.
Cut that out.
I mean, no, we'll be back in. Oh, outrage too. Got a number of emails saying,
Outrage.
can't believe you didn't do a spoiler discussion on Flowers. And I'm like, you know what? I thought we did.
Why would we?
Because I mean, we need to talk shit about the end of this movie.
Are we
should
going
do that.
to?
I think we should spend 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Avery, you able to pull that off?
Oh, I could talk some shit.
All right, let's do that.
Wonderful lady, when will love come back?
Welcome. Oh, yeah, film vault. Yeah, bonus.
You're really going to make me have to edit this?
I know. Sorry about that. Yeah, bonus film vault. Welcome everyone to the long-awaited, long-gestating spoiler talk on Killers of Flower Moon. If you've seen Killers, welcome. If you have not, just be aware we'll talk spoilers about the film
Spoilers.
for you, the Patreon member. Hey, thanks for being a Patreon member. We appreciate it. All right, what do you want to say about this?
So Avery and I were touching on it last week, and we couldn't really say.
Who's Avery?
I was sick. We were doing
Some
a remote
douchebag.
show,
Oh, that guy.
and we didn't really get a chance to. And I felt bad after the recording too. That I just kind of going like, it wasn't as good as I was hoping. I hate this movie. It's 1 star. I stand by
My
all
ice
that.
cream's not cold enough.
I stand by all that. Wait, was there? No, that was a different movie. That was Holdovers with the ice cream. Yeah. But we were kind of alluding. We're getting to many things wrong with this script. Is it going to be up for best fucking screenplay?
Probably.
You can see that.
I'm gonna ban the Oscars if that's the case.
We do a watch along every year.
I'll be on my app doing something else.
You'll put on the noise canceling
You'll be
headphones.
facing
Like
away from.
I'll be watching The Killer.
you'll be in the sound booth that they have in game shows where you can't hear what's going on
I'll
set.
be watching. You know what? We're gonna have a race.
You're gonna wait till February? To
Yeah,
watch Killer?
right when it starts, I'm gonna power up, and Avery and I are gonna start watching Blackberry, the 3 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna see which one ends first.
Yes.
We're gonna see which one ends first.
What if it culminates in
sassy man.
winning Best Picture?
So sassy. So if
Fuck,
this
when
is
does
up-
that come out?
If this is up for best editing and best screenplay, oh shit!
And Best Picture.
I think
That's
it'll
a-
probably be up for
that's-
best
yeah,
picture.
that's a given.
I think it's almost a given because they got 10 on that, up to 10. All right, so the end of the movie, and I guess it's the closest thing they have to a reveal is like we're watching her learn, which we should have been. She should have been proxy for us, and we should have been learning these things along with her.
Yep.
But we weren't. It was almost like we were on the evil white man's side, like part of this. Maybe that was the genius of it. Maybe you're trying to make us
interesting.
feel like
Rub
we're
it out.
complicit in it, like
Yeah.
accomplices almost.
Yeah.
So,
Make you feel bad about yourself.
and it's been brought up a number of times, but it would have been so much better if it was her story and we were kind of duped, and they went out of their way to kind of make us be duped. But then at the
Or
end,
if you made it less clear what Ernest was doing. Because they kind of lead you. It is shocking when you see that, oh, he is in a Klan outfit robbing Native American. That's weird.
that didn't surprise me at all, though.
It did for me because he hadn't done anything like that yet.
He was such a puppet, though. Like he was already stealing from people and
was
stealing
very
from Indians.
suggestible.
Like we already knew that he was stealing from Indians, right?
I think that was the first time they showed it, though.
But that was like halfway through the movie. Like,
No, that was like 20 minutes in.
oh yeah, well that's what I mean. Yeah, like we already knew.
Wait, what?
Never mind.
What?
I was saying it was. I wish they had not shown that at that point. That it
yeah.
had been not revealed so soon that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Like
I wish they had held that in their back pocket.
they could have
'cause-
shown that all of that in the third act and really soft pedaled it to make it seem like he was actually a good guy because he really
Yeah.
was in love with her. I think like
Yeah.
in love with somebody as a guy like that.
Sure.
can
And he's
be.
one of those narcissist morons who really thinks that he's going to be able to make it all good.
Yeah.
I do
It's like
like
the-
I do like the money.
Is it? You know what? It's just Scorsese's so in love with DiCaprio and De Niro to a lesser extent of this. I wonder if they're jealous of each other on set.
Well, we saw the short, the Chinese
I
short.
think that was written, and I think that was
No,
scripted,
that's true, sure.
and I think it's not true. But I think he's just too in love with DiCaprio to have him kind of be a background character, which he would have kind of fallen off if it was her story.
Yeah.
So it's at the end when all these reveals are happening to her, but we already know about them. And we see her. She's like, okay, so apparently you had my first husband shot in the back of the head. I can forgive you for that. That's all right. Evidently, I also ordered a bombing of my sister and her children to be killed.
Shot my other sister in the woods.
Things happen.
We can work through this.
We love bygones.
We can work through this.
Tried to steal my dead mother's estate.
Yeah.
You know what? You're only human.
And then she's still kind of like...
Yeah, because she then still, when he's trying to cut the deal afterwards, she's hugging him and kissing him and like, it's great. I love that you're testifying that you ruined my life. That's so great.
And the straw that broke this camel's back is like it's the one thing that I'm not even sure he knew. He probably had some inkling that he was poisoning.
He knew it wasn't good for her.
But he thought maybe he was just making her sleepy, right?
It would have made sense if that came out first and she forgave him for that.
Yeah, for that. Exactly.
Or you go, okay.
Is this not just simple? How is this in a major multi-million-dollar giant most anticipated movie of the year? How is it?
It's like if Jillian killed your 3 siblings.
Yeah.
And tried to steal the rest of your mom's money. And then
gave me some sleeping medication.
And then you found out she just poisoned you. Would you be the
not
most
even poison? It was like, it was sleeping medication.
Slipping Ambien into your desserts.
And it's at that point, she's like, can't get past that one. All right, now it's off. Now there's no reconciling.
Now this is fucked up now.
It's been, how, guys? Am I missing something?
It was odd. I did not understand that. I didn't understand it as it was happening. I didn't understand. And it was weird because her acting was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You understood her motivation.
Why did no one on set say, like, now you're editing this backwards, right? We're not shooting this, like...
They probably left a lot on the cutting room floor.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did anything.
But I couldn't fathom the character's motivation in any of that. Like I'm not even sure what's going on with her because they show close-ups of her in the courtroom as he's describing this heinousness, and she's kind of just okay. Yeah. Like it's like she's in traffic court.
Yeah, it is like she's in traffic court, watching other people's misdemeanor speeding.
Like, oh, honey, I know it was you on the traffic cam. That's fine. Just don't run through any more lights.
Don't change lanes in the middle of an intersection.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how it gets to this point where no one contests it or no one says, guys, this isn't really adding up. And then the fact that right now it's 8.1 on IMDb. And I
still think it's good. I don't know if it's 8.1, but...
there's a whole bunch of good ingredients here. But it's just like cooked backwards almost, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed most of it. But that part, I did not... I couldn't even begin to understand that part of the movie.
I still think it's a good movie. Like, it's a good movie to the heart, but there's so many problems, fundamental problems with the story.
Yeah, and I'm back to like what I think would have been one of the more interesting parts of the entire story was the first act, which I guess it started with the second or third act. I would have really liked to have seen like how the Native Americans were living before the money, and then them assimilating to having money, and then watching Whitey kind of come back in and try to assimilate.
And the resentment build, because there wasn't a ton. You could see it. Some of it was like the looks on the white people's faces, but I wish there was a little more overt resentment. You kind of didn't get you kind of got the sense that it was just a bunch of gigolo white guys who were just trying to get in there.
Yeah, doing the service industry, and then like a few of them getting drunk and killing them at night, essentially.
Yeah, well, and then the Klan is just kind of there for no real reason.
Just I think for like
kind of shock value, or just kind of look at this.
This is what it was like. It was a different time. Remember, the Klan was a part of the. Yeah, I mean, the movie could have ended with the first like. There's a prequel that I want to see. I want to see a prequel.
Yeah,
the Flower Moon.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes.
The Flower Moons.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Flower of the Moon.
Dawn of the Flower. Yeah.
Where it's all summarized would make a good 45 minutes of a movie.
Because them just killing it felt like Scorsese porn. He's been doing Scorsese porn for like the last 10 years or so, where it's like they got the obligatory look. It's like 3-4 henchmen going and beating up this one guy, and it's like it's got the Scorsese touch, and it's like nobody else would do that except for Scorsese.
Yeah, or when he's setting up all the eyewitnesses to get killed, the other criminals.
It's like we saw this really well done in 1991, Goodfellas.
And again, I enjoyed watching it. It looked cool, but it was
90.
90.
wasn't groundbreaking.
It looked cool, but I mean, we've already seen it.
But it's also because I had seen talking for an hour. And that was nice to see
finally something.
Someone get shot by a shotgun. Cool.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't. It actually made me more mad. I'm like, then now we're going back to this well after just watching a bunch of people talk about what? I don't trust these white men, except for that one right there. Just making the Native Americans look like the biggest rubes in the world.
Yeah, they didn't do them any favors.
Just the slow pan of like nothing but Native Americans, and they're just talking about how they don't trust the white men in the village. And the one man that they really shouldn't trust at all, he's like, I agree with you. He's sitting right there with them. You shouldn't trust these white men. What?
The fox in the hen house.
He was in there. He was right in there. He was a fox wearing fox. Like, he was a fox.
He's a wolf in wolf's clothing.
Wolf in wolf's clothing. Yes. He was a wolf in wolf's clothing.
All right, guys. Thanks for downloading and tuning in, listening, and being a Patreon subscriber. Appreciate you. And, yeah, join us next time. Until then.
Back to... Oh, wait. We do it for Van Gogh. Sorry.
All right, we're back. Time for top five. Top five time. Anderson, how you feeling?
Good.
Mitch Burns, our assigner this week, assigned a top five Canadian characters.
He suggested it a while ago,
Oh,
and I figured, why not? You know what? It's another one of those topics, Brian, where it's kind of shocking, the underrepresentation of good quality Canadian characters.
what's shocking about that? Actually, no, you're right. I was shocked too. Plenty of Canadian actors, performers.
Yeah.
Not as many Canadian characters I
No.
would have expected.
I mean, what if we were to top five like Texas characters or even Alaskan characters, right? They'd be all Oregonian characters. We celebrate our states,
You're right.
but like our 51st state, the America's hat, not
Never
celebrated.
found.
Not celebrated. And
That said, I dug deep.
I dug pretty deep too, but I'm a little embarrassed about my top five. It's not as earth-shattering as I would like. These aren't characters that I spend a whole lot of time thinking about.
So I thought that.
What's the O?
Is there a recent one that you spent a lot of time thinking about?
A recent character?
Yeah, it's Canadian.
All silly.
Who? Oh yeah. That's too recent.
I gotta adjust my list.
So Canadian, yeah.
He would have to be a number one.
Ball silly,
It's just
probably.
too
You know
recent.
what? If we're doing this down the road, yeah, ball
No,
silly's
he's
number
got to be
one.
number
right.
one.
I will say there was one that made my list that not only hadn't I thought about in 25 years, has it
time.
ever come up on the show? We'll find out.
I don't know.
The answer may surprise you.
So later in this, that's not true. Never mind.
Oh, and speaking of ball silly,
Where are you going?
AMC, the AMC miniseries of Blackberry, the one that no one was
It
able
was
to
seen
see.
by Anderson and you during the
Yes,
Oscars.
3-part series with extra 16 minutes of never before seen footage. November 13th on AMC Plus is when you can check
nice.
that
My
out.
brother's birthday. Look at that.
Mine's the 10th.
You can
Oh,
go
yeah?
go straight from
many
The
fall
Killer
babies.
to this.
That is enjoyable. That's an enjoyable weekend.
I'm gonna have the wife watch it with me. Very excited. She'll
The
watch
full
like
three part.
the
yeah.
Killer or Blackberry?
Blackberry.
She might like the Killer. Does she like the murder porn? She like true crime?
She likes murder porn, but she likes it to be real. She doesn't dig like the scripted stuff.
It feels kind of real. I'd be curious. I don't know.
Are you mocking me with that hair?
No. What the
Don't
big
appreciate
hair?
Yeah, just like look what I can do.
No, I'm doing this
I
because
care so little about my hair, my
I look
appearance.
I look
that
like a
I can do
busher.
this.
Yeah, I'm trying to look like a bushman, like from Canada.
I don't think you're gonna say that.
A bushman, yeah, a busher. They're called bushers. They're like dudes that like hang out in the forest and they smoke a lot of cigarettes and drink a lot of booze. Bushers.
Dare we?
Don't be a fucking Hoosier.
Hoser.
No, Hoosier is
Well,
that.
Hoosier is also.
That's a- all right.
Dare we give our Canadian bona fides?
Bona fides.
Our Canadian heritage?
I mean, together we are Canadian. We are
That's right.
one
We're
full
one
Canadian.
full-blooded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Canadian citizen.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Canada growing up. I don't know if you can say the same.
I spent more than the average person who's not Canadian.
You spent more than Americans that live right on the border, probably.
Yes, probably true. I would spend long stretches of time. Like we did a family reunion in 1990, and I was there for 2-3 weeks, and then I did summer up there in college, and I was there for half the summer.
What part of Canada?
Vancouver. Always Vancouver.
You choked up?
I got nuts in my throat. Always Vancouver.
Why would you laugh about that, Brian? What are you, a
Nuts.
child?
Always Vancouver. If you want to be specific, always Maple Ridge, formerly known as Haney.
I didn't ask you to be specific.
I'm being
I
specific.
don't care. And plus, Vancouver, like BC,
Hmm?
kind of fake Canada. You know what I mean?
How so? It's the most. It's the
Nah,
most Canada.
I feel like Eastern Canada is like the real
No.
thing. Newfoundland.
Those French Canadians.
Newfoundland.
Get out.
Yeah, you got to go. Does your dog need to escape?
Yeah, can you let him out?
Oh boy.
Brian loves to ask people to do things for him. He really does.
At least I ask.
Yeah, your dog is, oh, Charlie,
Thanks, Everett.
tap dancing in the kitchen.
He's
Near
gotta
his little
go.
toes. All right, let's get to this.
He wants to go outside and pee. No, I feel,
Avery
I
doesn't get
feel
paid
bad.
nearly enough to be here, let alone to do this.
I feel bad.
You should. You should feel a little bad.
Not a lot.
All right, let's
He's
go.
going to start barking when he needs to come back in?
Yes.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, Christ, indeed. All right,
Bad pod.
Brian, you up? What are you doing? What's going on? Talk to me.
I'm waiting for the dog.
Oh, Jesus Christ. right, want me to start?
Yeah,
I can
dogs
start.
don't wear pants.
I have a tie at number 5.
Do you?
I do.
All right.
Well, they're a well-known pair. Mm. I imagine we'll have some crossover.
Yeah, probably.
Perhaps it'll be here at number 5 for you and me. Tied at 5 is Terrence and Phillip from the South Park, the movie.
Yeah.
Bigger, longer, and uncut.
I was doing that for a while. I do that with The Simpsons. I do it with the old South Park over there, but it's cheating.
Well, was Terrence and Phillip's first appearance in this movie?
Pretty confident that was not the case. Yeah.
I always associate him with the film.
Ike Broblovsky is also a Canadian. You can always tell the Canadians on the South Park because they have the eggheads that split
they have
completely
the flopping
apart.
heads. Yes. That's even lampshaded by Kyle with the flopping heads.
Yeah. His little brother is a full Canadian.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Kyle.
Brother is,
No, it's not Kyle. Ike Broblovsky. Broblovsky. Ah, Jesus. Broblovsky. Thank you. Did I say it right that time? Broblovsky.
Feel my dog.
What?
Is he ready?
Yeah,
What?
he's
That was one of my drops. You use that one too?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have fondness for my drop.
All right. So that's it's good. Number 5, Brian.
Let's leave the door open.
Number 5 for
Avery,
me.
stand out there for a while.
Number 5 for me
Unnecessary.
is a movie I don't think gets enough credit, and I absolutely love this movie in the theater when I saw it, and I couldn't wait.
You can leave the door open.
Oh my God! Brian, all I ask is that you just try. Just try a little bit.
Why would I
Like,
start
there's
now?
just no trying at all with you.
Why start now?
You're just like, you know what? Who gives a fuck about this show? Really? Let's just talk about the dog on the fucking show. Have our poor producer like, what are you doing?
No, I feel bad. Why
You should feel bad.
All right, well then.
Say, you know what? Like, maybe be a little bit of like
Mission
professional. Like,
accomplished.
maybe we should pause and I'll deal with the
Pause.
dog.
Pause.
Scott Pilgrim is my number 5.
Oh, come on. Is it actual Scott?
Yeah, Scott. He's Canadian.
Because there's a number of Canadian characters.
Yeah, but it's Scott's what I want. Yeah, Scott.
Oh, I don't want to take the wind out of your sail.
Yeah, that's all right. I was very excited to see this movie at home, so I could, kind of study it more because there's a lot going on the screen. Since then we've seen other movies with a lot going on the screen, but it was one of the most interactive movies that I wrote. Interactive is not the right word, but a whole lot of shit going on with that movie, and I would have liked to have perhaps studied it again. I just have not. I have not caught up with it again since it's been
Are you
released.
serious? Oh, I've seen this movie a few times.
It's very, very good.
Very enjoy. High on the fun scale.
Very, very fun. Yeah. Unlike this working with you.
Oh, geez. Why you got to bring that around?
Now I'm stressed out about the dog. Is the dog outside?
Can you let him in? I'll do number 4.
What was your number 5, Brian?
Was
Terrence and Phillip.
TMP. Their house says TMP.
The dog is.
Number 4 for me. This is nice. I stretched my wings. Thanks, buddy. That was loud. Number 4 for me is self-described as Canada's greatest superhero. No, Canada's greatest stuntman. I apologize for misspeaking. Of course, I'm talking about Duke Kaboom, voiced by Keanu Reeves in Toy Story 4. And credit goes to Christy because I was struggling to think Canadian characters. She was like, "What about Duke Kaboom?"
Who is Christy?
My wife and a part-time film law researcher, and she came up with Duke Kaboom. I'm like, great choice, because he is festooned in maple leaves and the Canadian flag. Mm-hmm. So there's no mistaking whatsoever.
No, there really isn't.
What he's all about. Anderson, did you know that the estate of Evel Knievel sued Pixar, Disney, for the oddly paltry sum of $200,000 for a likeness infringement on Evel Knievel by Duke.
You say paltry. I mean, that might. I don't know what Evel Knievel's fortune is worth. His estate is actually singing right now, but that could help out some.
It probably did. Would have. Unfortunately,
his son wasn't quite the same stuntman as.
Yeah, this was Kelly Knievel, I
I
believe.
don't know what he does for money.
He sues Disney. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I imagine it cost him quite a bit of money because it was dismissed by a Nevada judge, and then the suit was appealed, and all 3 judges on the appeal court unanimously voted in favor of Disney, thereby quashing Kelly Knievel's plot to get to another 200,000K out of 200K out of Disney. Reminiscent. Are
It's
you
200,000K. No, it's
200K.
200.
Are you aware of
Jesus.
Frank Sivero's lawsuit against The Simpsons?
No.
So this is the Goodfellas actor who was like hung in the meat locker and frozen in the meat truck.
I mean, that's him in The Simpsons. I mean, that is
It kind
his
of
likeness.
is.
Absolutely.
I think he had a better case, honestly. He sued The Simpsons for $250 million back in the day for using his likeness.
I mean, that's absurd.
Somewhere in between. Be smart.
Yeah. I mean, how do you go for $250 million?
Yeah. Go for a couple mil.
I don't. I mean,
$250 million?
I don't want to like sound too.
I don't know if
ignorant.
Mickey Mouse would sue you for that much if you used him.
How much do you think the Simpsons make like in a 5-year span? Do you think
Quite
they
a
bring in
bit.
250
Like profit?
million?
Like actual, like,
Yeah.
like a net?
Like above the line, yeah, net.
Yeah, less
250
than
mil.
250.
Yeah, So he's suggesting that like, his character, that one little character that shows up like every 20 episodes or so, is worthy of at least
1 year of Simpsons?
5 seasons. I'm saying, like,
Oh,
Similarly, he lost that lawsuit. It was dismissed, and First Amendment free speech rights.
250. Who is this fucking lawyer? We're gonna ask for the
The
world.
balls of that guy.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Looks like I pissed all over myself. It's from The Wedding Singer.
Was he in The Wedding Singer?
He was. He was the.
And he peed on himself.
I think he was an uncle or a brother-in-law or something.
All right. So far you got 3
No, he
Canadian
sprayed
characters.
himself with a hose.
Okay. You got 3 Canadian characters.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did 4.
I
Or
did-
you did,
He's a three.
you
I
did 5
tied
and 4.
number two, yeah.
No, but
Number five.
he had a tie with the Terrence and the Phillip.
Oh.
And then
yes.
he's
And then
got
Duke.
the
Duke
Duke.
Kaboom.
So far, they're all animated.
That's right.
No Canadians worthy in the flesh.
Oh, we'll get there.
Are we doing Mitch's list? Are we working this in?
Oh, shit.
yeah, we should work it in.
Forgot about Mitch.
We skipped Mitch.
All right.
Mitch, sorry,
Can
buddy.
never skip Mitch.
We gotta make good. Number 5 for Mitch Burns. Number 5 is also a tie. It's Rut and Took, voiced by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, and Brother Bear.
Brother
Oh.
The characters were inspired by Bob and Doug McKenzie. Brother Bear was a big favorite for me when I was young, and these 2 characters are clearly the funniest in the movie. A lot of people hated this in the Disney era, but I was prime time for me, and I love this movie. And it is Mitch's only clip. Let us hear.
Let's hear it.
Please don't eat us. You wouldn't like us, eh? We're really gamey. Yeah, eat hooper brains over there. Oh, nice, eh? Pine cone breath, crusty tail, twig legs, big nose. Sorry.
You went too far that time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive
Guys.
me.
Size yours as big as mine. I'm not eating anybody.
Oh, that's mighty decent of you, eh?
Yeah, hey, my name's Rut. This is my brother, Took.
How's it going, Bear?
Don't call me that.
They are extremely
Sorry,
Canadian.
I get that.
They look
Mr. Bear?
delicious.
No, I mean, I'm not a bear. I hate bears. Well, gee, eh? You're one big beaver.
No kidding, eh?
That's dirty.
It's good stuff.
Disney's
Brother,
always filthy.
Brother Bear came up on an early episode of the Film Vault. Maybe the first.
Brother Bear. That was at the trailer. Every time I'd see it, I saw the trailer probably like 20 times.
What was the live action one? I always thought the
They did
live
the
action
live
one was
action
Brother
Brother
Bear.
Is it a
No, they
live
did some
action?
live action one with John C. Riley doing the voices for the bears. That was a Disney
Yeah,
like
I think that
nature
was
thing.
like a nature show. Yeah, and it's like, oh, I hate that.
I always
so much.
confuse the two.
Where they have like the voiceover, like the recognizable actors, and it's
Yeah.
like animals in the wild doing kind of cute things, and then they have like, who was it?
Oh, you spilled my honey.
Tina Fey. Like, whoops! I woke up on the wrong side of the log this morning. I hate it so much. I hate it almost as much as you demanding Avery take care of dog
Oh,
business.
I've never demanded anything.
So far,
Could you do me a favor?
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 Canadian characters that have been cited on this here program. so
Okay.
far. All
That's weird that you
Animated.
keep track.
4 of the 5
Oh, yeah.
animated. Poor Canadians.
All right, you're number 4. And then we'll get to Mitch's number 4.
My number,
This better be animated. You got to keep this read going.
I know. My number 4 is trying to think of anime. Damn it! I had one right on the tip of my tongue. All right. No, it's not. I don't have any animation. Mine's Betty Elm. Betty Elm from Mulholland Drive, Brian.
Oh, she's Canadian.
She is very Canadian.
Now, our criteria should be explained. I one of the characters who had to like be say they're Canadian or from Canada. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't just be a Canadian actor who like happened to be in Canada for the movie. No, They had to be like something Canadian about their.
Well, yeah, it can't be a Canadian
Yeah.
movie either, where like everyone's Canada, because there's people. It's like when you go to China, like, it's not like Chinese food; it's just food, right? So I'm not doing any movies where it's just a Canadian movie and everyone's Canadian in it. Therefore, a lot of Adam McGowan movies, pretty much all of them.
I wonder if Brian's gonna get clever.
Number 3 is not a going movie.
Is it?
It is.
Is it really?
It is. But let's first deal with your.
I feel like a clever pick for Brian would be Seth Rogen, and this is the end.
That's right.
Oh.
It's the Rogan and Pineapple
Because he's
Express.
playing himself, and he is.
And he's
Wait,
Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Uh-huh.
Seth Rogen's Canadian.
Him and Jay Baruchel, yeah.
I knew Baruchel was. I
Both
knew
of
that
them.
really well.
It's actually Jay
know why I got,
Baruchel,
like-
and this is the end.
Yeah, Tom Green, very, very Canadian.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. No, but Betty Elm, she's in Mulholland Drive. Naomi Watts, of course. And she's not only from Canada, but she comes out and says that she's just a nurse who's from a small little town, Deep River, Canada. And that's where I spent my summers
Oh,
growing
really?
up. Very small, tiny little town in Ontario, Canada called Deep River. It's where my mom grew up. It's a nuclear town, Brian. And my grandfather, he's one of the four founding members of Deep River. So it was
you're
surreal.
royalty.
So surreal to hear her say, of all places, Deep
Yeah.
River. Plus, my mom was a nurse. So it was like,
Wow.
obviously, somewhere along the lines, David Lynch
Yeah, based
bumped into
on-
my mom.
yeah,
based
inspired
it
by.
on, Inspired by, yeah. But no, she's a character that helps the plot move forward, if you can call it that, in Mulholland
I
Drive.
would not.
It's difficult to follow at times, for sure.
Does she switch at some point? when
She
they're
does.
there?
She does switch, and there's a lot of switching going on. That movie could have been called Switch. Actually, Mulholland Drive was just on a list not too long ago
Well,
with the
Mulholland
road
Drive
rage.
does switch back and forth, the actual road.
It does. There's a lot of switchbacks, Brian. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the switchback. Yeah, she is Canadian, and the whole story is that she's just like a little farm girl from like deep Canada who's out here. All of a sudden, she's in the magical world of Hollywood. Oh, that one scene though. There's some greatness in Mulholland Drive, and I think I forget, and a lot of people forget that Mulholland Drive was initially supposed to be an ABC like miniseries,
Sure.
like, much like Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, yeah.
And he showed the execs over at ABC like the first 5-6 episodes that he went out and shot, because he's David Lynch, so he has that kind of pull. Like he's like, hey, just give me the funds, I'll shoot the 5-6 episodes, and then I'll show you guys what I'm up to.
And they loved it.
They did not. They said this is unwatchable, unscreenable. You can take your little cans of film and leave our offices, do whatever you want with it. He's like, all right, I guess I'll stitch together a movie. And he
Great,
did.
I love them.
So that's what Mulholland Drive is. His movies are usually a bit hard to follow, but it doesn't really leave you wondering why this one is so hard to follow, because he had the first like third of a mini series essentially in the can, and then he made the
That's
most
good.
out of it. But yeah, she is just a girl from a small town in Canada.
Did not realize. Nice. What's Mitch Burns is number 4?
Number 4 for Mitch is Grant Mazzy, is played by Canadian Stephen McCaddy in Pontypool.
Pontypool, that's a great pull there, Mitch.
A really fun and
A great
unique horror
pool.
movie filmed in Toronto, which we pronounce Toronto.
Toronto. No T in the end.
No, I can't do the two.
Kind of like Montreal. Has his own pronunciation.
What?
Montreal. With the U. Is that L?
Montreal.
Montreal.
Montreal. You know what their Canadian team is called?
The Canadians?
Yeah, but
The
you know what
Habs?
the Habs. You know what Habs is?
No, actually, I don't.
Farmers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're Canadian farmers.
Wouldn't have guessed.
Habs. It's French for farmers.
Mm.
I think it's a longer word, but the Habs is for short. It's the least intimidating name, perhaps, in all of sports. The Farmers.
Dolphins is up there.
Dolphins will fuck you up, though. They kill sharks.
Yeah, Dolphins are mean.
Yeah, they just get away with a bunch of bullshit because they got that permagrin. But dolphins are not nearly as nice as people think.
Bad guys.
They just got the smile, right? Like they're on like ecstasy all the time.
We should make a list of unintimidating sports.
I mean, the Penguins aren't very intimidating.
Yeah, that's
Dodgers
pretty
is
low.
actually really low on the list.
Dodgers, like those are guys that were dodging subway cars
Yeah.
in
Or no,
Brooklyn,
trolleys.
right?
Drunk
Trolleys.
guys dodging trolleys, yeah.
What the fuck kind of name is that?
It's an old name.
It's a very old name.
Lakers is like, fucking LA. Why they can't get any good Clippers weak?
We had the Raiders for a while.
Yeah, I know.
The Raiders.
Rams isn't bad.
Rams,
Rams and Chargers are kind of the best we got.
Chargers. We'll shock you.
Well, the Angels is very clever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. The
Jeez
Los
Louise.
Angeles. The
Weak.
Angels, the Angels.
And then we have the Padres just a couple hours
Oh, my
away.
God. That is the least
What
intimidating.
is going on?
Actually, there's a lot of people that are afraid of fucking Padres.
Well, they can light the Padres. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. I don't like the logo.
Padres
though.
done a lot of damage.
Oh, the swinging fryer.
The swinging fryer
Looks
is
like
just
the
worst.
Buffalo Wild Wings emblem.
Well, I think that the Buffalo Wild Wings looks like the swinging fryer. He's like ascending to heaven with his little. What's with with religion and the MLB over there with the Angels and the Padres and the
Interesting.
priests?
Don't like.
The priest would be a very. This is a low hanging fruit joke, but the priest would be a very intimidating, fear inducing, like name if it was like an AYSO or something,
In
Yeah.
Little League, yeah.
like Little League.
Oh, if there was
Yeah.
one, yeah. Oh, if your star pitcher was molested as a kid.
All
by a
right,
priest,
Brian. I mean, we'd have to
He's
come
gonna
out and say
fall
the
apart.
words.
Maybe that was happening to Clayton Kershaw.
What?
Maybe that's what happened to him. That's why he falls apart in the postseason.
Too soon.
I don't know, sort of.
Little too
Half
soon.
baked.
Low blow.
Theory. Half baked theory.
Hurtful.
All right, Mitch,
Hurtful.
Pontypool. So from me,
Sorry,
from
buddy.
three.
You know you're a Dodger. Pontypool. Yeah, Pontypool. Have you seen Pontypool?
I'm not.
Interesting movie. Very interesting.
Good or
interesting
bad?
film. I think with your radio background, you would appreciate it.
All right. Number
Because
three.
radio is an integral part of the entire story.
Nice. Number three for me. Anderson
is
stepped
the-
on it unwittingly,
Oh, sorry.
but it is an Adam McGowan film. But I'm going with. I thought of this and I'm like, yeah, that's a really good character. Sarah Polley as Nicole Burnell in The Sweet Hereafter. The Sweet Hereafter.
Weird that it's on your list and not my. But aren't there many Canadians in that movie?
It's set in Canada.
Yeah,
They're all
so
Canadian.
they're all Canadians. That's the problem.
That said, good movie. You've seen it, right?
I love this movie. And you
It's
give
really-
me shit for liking it.
I did.
Yeah, you tell me that it's not as good as everyone says it is. I think it's an amazing piece of cinema.
I think it's weird.
I really like it. It was with a bus.
No, I know. I know what it is. I'm trying to think of why I would say that.
Yeah, you've given Adam McGowan what's the other one? Europa.
Exotica?
Exotica. Yes, Exotica. You give shit to.
No.
Felicity's Journey. I don't think you
No,
ever
I've
saw
not
that one.
seen.
That one's really good. That one's fantastic. Ararat. I really liked Ararat. I love Adam McGowan. Some of his stuff is fantastic.
Anyway, we rarely discuss The Sweet Hereafter, but Sarah Polley's character, the slow playing, I'll just say, I don't want to give away the ending, but the slow playing of her revenge plot is magnificent. And the sort of reveal / turn at the end when she executes her revenge. It's a dish best served cold, Anderson.
This movie's a slow turn where there's a slow burn where there's like constantly like
Yeah.
you don't
It's
know
also-
where you're constantly off kilter as an
It's
audience
also a
member.
tough recommend because it's bleak.
It is
You know what I mean?
bleak, but it keeps you guessing throughout, and you're engaged. It's kind of the opposite of the Killers of the Flower Moon. It kind of is, right? It's
I mean,
it's
yeah,
short.
I guess in that sense.
You're not sure where you're
Also,
going.
honorable mention, although I don't know for a fact that he's Canadian in this movie, but Ian Holm as the lawyer is a great character.
Yeah. Adam McGowan, underrated.
I don't know the last movie he's made.
Yeah, he slipped into TV. I think he's been doing a lot of TV.
There you go.
Got to interview that guy once too at the Toronto Film Festival.
Toronto?
We really geeked out on the sound, the soundscape that he did for Felicity's Journey, Felicity's Journey. We the other people in the round table were very annoyed with me because Adam and I were getting quite nerdy
Really
with
into
like
into
what
the
he did
sound
with
design?
the sound design. Okay, number 3 for me. Oh, this is a good one. Could have put this at the top of my list probably.
Let's hear it.
1977, a movie called Slapshot was made, Brian, as you might know. There's Americans in there as well as Canadian hockey players, and Ogie Oglethorpe is one of the most fear-inducing, terrifying hockey players you'll ever see represented
Now,
on
is he
camera.
named as Canadian?
Yeah, he's Canadian, and he was based on, I did a little research here, based on Bill Goldie. I probably brought this to the program years ago because I've talked about Slapshot quite a bit. But Bill Goldie, also Harpo, he was known as Harpo, Goldthorpe is who Ogie Oglethorpe was based on. This guy, this real-life hockey player, born in 1953, is a Canadian retired professional ice hockey player. He is best known as the inspiration for Ogie Oglethorpe in the 1977 film Slapshot. Goldthorpe, a left winger, was a notorious hockey enforcer, a man once dubbed the wildest, meanest, and most unpredictable player in hockey. In his checkered 8-year career, Brian, from 73 to 84, Goldthorpe played for 10 minor league teams and for 4 World Hockey Association squads. Along the way, he racked up 1,132 penalty minutes, which is a lot.
In 10 years.
In just
Never made the
100,
NHL?
in just 194 professional games. Now that was the beauty of that is the beauty of a lot of these like minor league teams is like a lot of them are very angry and ornery players because they never made it to the big show. But Oglethorpe, as you'll remember, they did call him Harpo because of his crazy wild hair. And Goldie was actually offered the role. I forget why he tapped out. I read
he was doing
why.
serving penalty.
He wasn't real pleased with something that went along the line. So Nancy Dowd's brother ended up playing the actual Ogie Oglethorpe in Slapshot in 1977 Slapshot, which Paul Newman, many a fine film that Paul Newman.
Indeed.
He was in The Sting, which many people consider like one of the only perfect movie ever made.
It's a classic.
Newman will tell you that his favorite movie he was ever in was Slapshot.
Really?
Well, I won't tell you that anymore because he's dead. But
I was gonna
when
say,
he was
can I-
alive,
can
that's
I
what
ask him right now?
he would tell people.
You
that.
could ask your were you ranch dressing?
He would tell. Not too good. I'm glad that the dresses do good for
You
the
have
world.
a problem
but
with the ranch?
it's not that good.
He does everything though, right? Like pasta
Yeah, all of it.
sauce and
Just a good guy. He was a solid salt.
He did some
of the earth
acting
guy.
too.
Acting was the second love, behind racing. I learned that from
Yeah.
Corolla's very, very good documentary.
That's right.
Was it
Winning the race life, Paul Newman.
No, is that what it was called?
Indeed.
I saw it in theaters. I liked it a lot.
I saw it in theater too.
Why'd you have to look up to think about that and recall that memory?
What?
I said I saw it in and as I got to the your eyes darted up to the ceiling.
I was trying to remember I saw it in the theater.
Uh-huh.
I did.
You did.
I was at the
How
premiere.
many times have you seen Roadhead, Brian?
Oh, was that the premiere?
Just the one, sadly.
Did you like it?
Some good laughs. Really solid laughs. I laughed out loud more than once.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are you trying to think of something else to say? Mean or
If we did top
Towards
5
me.
movies about stand-up comics, that would certainly be brought up in the episode. For sure it would be.
look at how uncomfortable he is.
Wouldn't make the list, but we mentioned.
I didn't say that. That's you doing your own shit.
It would be.
All right, let's hear Mitch Burn, please.
Yes.
Number 3 for Mitch Burns is Mr. Dressup, otherwise known as Ernie Combs, in the documentary Mr. Dressup, The Magic of Make Believe.
What?
Mr. Dressup was our Mr.
documentaries.
Rogers.
No documentaries.
In fact, he started as an assistant puppeteer to Fred Rogers. Mr. Dressup would lead children through a series of songs, stories, arts and crafts, and imagination games with the help of his puppet friends.
This feels inappropriate.
He was the sweetest man. His show ran for 29 seasons from 67 to 96. Ernie died in 2001, and he is a Canadian icon.
I don't know this man.
Well, Mr.
What's his
Dressup.
name? Mr. What's his actual
Who
name?
is?
Ernie Combs?
Ernie
Coombs.
That sounds vaguely familiar. Oh, Jesus. Hey, Giovanni, please stop the email. I don't need to know more about Ernie Combs.
I would like to hear
Please.
more.
All right, take a quick break.
Breakdown.
It's a little Amazon.
Little Amazon after that. Come back with the rest of our list, including Mitch's list, after this. Here to talk about the interesting and notable purchases made it with our Amazon link that exists on AndersonandBryan.com. Thank you guys for tapping that. It was a good week, and appreciate you guys a lot for continuing to support the show, especially when it's low effort, low hanging fruit. Just tap the banner, do your shopping. Appreciate all of you. Hey, I guess it's time to put it on your radar. Cyber Monday, Black Friday. If you're considering shopping on Amazon, like a lot of people do, consider tapping our banner first. Costs you nothing, except for a few seconds of your time, and it really helps us out. So appreciate you thinking of us. Other things purchased. Well, actually, these are all things purchased. On the Amazon banner include, someone got an Austin Air bedroom air purifier, 3 Intel Core gaming desktop processors, all of different variable speeds and processing ability. Dyson Detect vacuum cleaner. Samsung Galaxy Tab Active 4 Pro. Echo Gore-Tex hiking boot. What is this? What the fuck is with this? Ingersoll Rand Ultra coolant. There you go. That was words I was not expecting to be in that order. Makita 18-volt lithium-ion battery. 2-pack of those. So thank you for getting those. Someone got themselves a Ryobi. Not Ryobi. Ryobi.
Rabies.
Is it Ryobi? Heavy-duty storage shelves. I appreciate you just picking a lane, Avery.
I said rabies. I didn't even pick one.
Oh, nice. Gaium air tumbling mat. Joy Real portable touchscreen monitor. Western Digital black 5 terabyte game drive. Kanagawa 10 by 10 foot shade sail. I've heard them called
They're putting you through the ringer this time.
Yeah, really. It doesn't get any easier. Shock 2 open and run Bluetooth sport headphones. Moen brass widespread faucet valve. World's best cables. Balanced microphone cable. What is this? Folgers classic roast ground coffee. Oh, nice. Fimo Lux. Jesus Christ. Motel? What the fuck
This is Brian's last show.
It really might be. Barina Venetian plaster. Quick covers. Plastic table covers. Anchor charging base. Oh my god, I don't know. Loratap. Smart Wi-Fi bulb socket. Amazon Basics portable radiator. Someone got a $65 Nintendo gift card and a Komoota mason jars. You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I would not have put money on you hitting the post.
Pulled it out.
Mm-hmm. Here the movies are click. This is the last time top. Oh, only one person got duets. What? Duets. The Devil's Rejects was also clicked through, just in time for the Halloween over there. Safe Halloween, everybody. This is all behind us already. Why'd you turn off your light?
So I think the light is distracting me from reading as well. Like I read fine during the day, but I don't have a light in my face.
That was the issue.
That's probably the issue. That of the deadly brain tumor.
Alice in the Cities was clicked through, as well as A House of a Thousand Corpses. 31, The Omen, 3 from Hell, Snatch, and Megalomaniac was clicked through. These are the movies that were clicked through. These are the movies too short of a list for
is that it?
to be able to.
It's a brief list.
It's a very brief list. Guess you guys just don't really care to click through anymore.
No one gives a shit about Halloween.
Very hurtful.
Well, to be fair, we're recording this the day before Halloween, so maybe
it is
the
a little
Halloween
early in the
list
week. Short week. Short week.
Will be reflected next week.
Well, back to the program.
We are back. Time to finish up our lists. Number 2 for me, before we get to Anderson and Mitch Burns. Number 2 for me is obvious, but I assume it'll be on the listener list, possibly number 1, possibly pretty high. But Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman, of course, in all the X-Men movies. Logan, a.k.a. Wolverine, is a Canadian man. At one point, we see him retired from in Wolverine X-Men Origins, where we find the origin story of Wolverine. We see him retired from Stryker's force. He's up in the Canadian wilderness, the Canadian Rockies, I should say, and I guess that'd be the wilderness. And he's working as a logger. He's chopping down trees and milling logs. And Stryker comes to recruit him, and he gives him the hard sell. And Logan wants nothing to do with it. Logan's retired, and at one point he drives away. Stryker yells, "Your country needs you, Logan!" And he goes, "I'm Canadian," and drives away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good moment. There's actually a deleted scene from one of the other Wolverine movies where we see him returning home to his home in Alberta.
Oh,
Logan's great. I love Logan.
The movie?
Yeah.
Fucking love. What might be behind? Oh, we did top 5 superhero movies. So like behind the Batman movies, Nolan Batman films. One of my favorites. It's great.
Okay.
We obviously agree.
All right. Logan did 0 for me, but
I think he might be my second favorite character next to Tony Stark in superhero lore.
In the all
I think maybe.
not just
you get
Marvel.
on that
Wow, bald.
microphone. You
More
say
than
bald or
Deadpool?
bold?
More than
Yeah, more than Deadpool.
Brian, don't give away your number 1. You're not there yet.
Deadpool is not named as Canadian.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that true?
not in the films, as far as I know.
Interesting. All right, my number 2 is. Wait, so what was your number 3?
3 was Sarah Polley from Sweet Hereafter.
So far, we were only like actual fleshed out human being. I guess
Oh,
Logan kind of is, but I mean,
Logan's been the star of like 5 movies.
he has blades that come out of his. He's not like a real human being. Like, he walks amongst
He's
us.
the mutant. Are you prejudiced against mutants?
He's a bare knuckle
Absolutely.
boxer.
Yeah, that's a whole subplot in X-Men: The Ring.
Number 2 for me is this takes me back, and I've never had this character nor this movie on any list yet. This
Here
was
we
a
go.
staple. It was a staple growing up. Watched this quite a bit, and I think it actually Brian, quite an impression on me. Brian, do you know a man named Terry Fox?
I know Terry Funk.
This is not good for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Terry Fox is a Canadian hero, Brian. He lost his leg
Okay.
to cancer. And Terry Fox did not like the way that he was treated as a one-legged man. He did not like the way that cancer and amputees.
Is this a true story?
True story. And amputees were treated, not only in his country of Canada, but also North America in general, and
Sure.
the world
Look down.
at large. Yeah.
Typically because they tip over.
So he decided to not only raise money, but also raise awareness by running
Oh,
on one leg.
yeah. I'm
Here's what
confusing
Brian
with
tries to
Jim-
make up.
I'm confusing him with Jim Fix, but Terry Fox was also a runner.
Forrest Gump, you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Forrest. So, no, Terry Fox, not Terry Forrest Gump. No, Terry Fox. He runs from one end of Canada to the other to raise awareness. It's a true story. It actually happened. And they made a great TV movie it's not great at all. In fact, we'll be the judge of how great it is because we're going to listen to the entire 2-minute trailer here in a minute. Robert Duvall is the biggest name in the old Terry Fox story. Heart of a Champion. 1983, Brian. Let's all get in our little time machines and go back and listen to what a trailer sounded like from 1983.
Lots of voiceover, probably.
Because they don't understand what you're doing. So do you understand what I'm doing?
In 1980, Terry Fox, a young athlete, decided to run across Canada. He called it his Marathon of Hope. But for a boy with only one leg, it was a marathon of courage.
I'm not saying he's gonna make it, and I'm not saying he ain't gonna make it. It doesn't really matter. What matters is he's making a lot of people feel happy.
This is a true story of triumph and anger,
What do they want from me? Blood?
love, and the test of understanding.
Rick, I need you.
It's about fear,
And what happens if I don't finish this run? What do you mean by that? I'm not the Bionic Man.
it's about Terry Fox, who proved to the world every one of us can have the heart of a champion. His story is about people reaching out and reaching back.
I'm running for my
It's so
children.
good.
He's at home with cancer.
Oh, it's
It's the
halfway
most
done.
unexpected motion picture you will ever
Oh, I
experience.
definitely wanted.
I was enjoying it.
And that makes it all the more touching. Starring
Wait,
Robert
I like the
Duvall,
banjo.
I understand this,
It's Robert Duvall right there.
but I love you.
Christopher Makepeace,
Now look at that guy's hair. Look at that dude's hair.
I can't do anymore.
This is linked.
I tried.
The link to my list on my journal. We
Got
always
a
put
cute
the list.
girlfriend.
That's really
Look
good.
at that dude's hair, though. All right, so yeah,
Is that streaming?
this is a movie that I watched a number of times while a young impressionable boy, and it did.
Were you dusting?
I say
What?
jokingly, but yeah, it got emotional for me as a child, and seeing a young guy who was old to me at the time because I was a kid, doing something this heroic and on one leg, and meeting the challenge. It definitely, absolutely had an effect on me, and I still cite Terry Fox. Now
What's it called? Heart of Gold?
it's called the Terry Fox story.
Oh.
Heart of a Champion.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's not moving as fast as I would have imagined.
Canada's a big
For God's sake.
big country too.
But I think prosthetics have come a long way.
Yeah, all the more impressive, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
I bet he's wishing he had a blade now.
Terry.
He'd have been flying.
I don't know if you can do that with one. Can you?
I don't know.
Because you would just propel yourself. You'd constantly be like bounding upward. But yeah, Terry Fox, hero in my heart, Brian.
Obviously, a national treasure to the people of Canada.
Yeah. Lots of melodrama.
Fox News Sunday? No, that's not.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Brian. Okay, let's move on. You're down a rabbit hole that no one wants to go down. It's a boring rabbit hole.
It really is.
We're just looking up things related to Fox anything on Google, and we don't want that. Part of this.
I'm actually in Just Watch. All right, let's hear Mitch's top number 2.
Number 2 for Mitch is Dren from the movie Splice. Played by Delphine Chania.
I knew he'd be good at this. I knew that because you know what? As a Canadian, as a hardcore Canadian, like I'm sure that we're only half Canadian and we don't really think like Canadians.
Barely.
But if you're a full-on Canadian, you're watching movies and you hear representation, it's gonna it's gonna tweak your ear. You're gonna notice, right?
Dren was created by scientist Clive Nichol, played by Adrian Brody, and Elsa Cast in their laboratory, where genetics are comprised of spliced animal and human DNA.
Yeah.
Where human DNA is later revealed to come from Elsa's genetic code.
At one point, doesn't Adrian Brody have relations with the creature?
Yeah, she gets fucked.
Wait, what's that? I gotta see.
Splice. You haven't heard of Splice? No. Heard of Splice?
It sounds vaguely.
Her face looks kind of like a butt with eyes.
Eyes are too wide.
But she's kind of hot, and like they make it was a model who played her.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, but her eyes are too wide.
He bangs that thing?
Yeah, he ends up fucking experiment. It's
Why
very strange.
Why does he?
She bangs him.
Is it tender? What's going on there?
It's odd. It's very strange. It's a weird direction to go.
That's a troubling shot to see. What's
not to like?
I don't love that. I don't love them.
Nor should you. I mean,
I don't love them eye to eye.
You're a healthy human being, so you shouldn't love
gazing lovingly into.
It's like, how long ago was that? 2011?
2009.
2009. It's like, I think we finally got to a place in movies where it's like it doesn't always have to be about fucking. It's like for a while there,
you don't have to fuck everyone.
Every movie was kind of like
every sci-fi movie had to be fucked.
It had like the cult tenets involved. Every movie had like the same involved the same ethos as like a cult. Like eventually something has to get fucked in this movie. It's like no, we can have movies without fucking. We really can. I can follow along without. Oh, you should have heard my displeasure.
We just celebrate film.
In the theater, Holdovers, when the young guy he meets what's her name? Elise the niece.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I thought it was gonna take. I thought it was gonna go like a 30-minute relationship section of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed. Boy, was I happy that did not take place.
Yeah, it really was wrapped up in about 7 minutes.
That's all you need, right? I don't need a big love story in every single movie I see.
But do you see him fucking?
What's that?
Do you see him fucking?
No, you don't. You don't see you see a cute little peck, and then you see a lot of frustration. A lot of frustration.
Pent up.
You could feel that frustration. I felt the frustration.
Palpable.
Palpable. Yeah. Let me go back. She's got interest. She wants to do more stuff. Let's go back. Nope. Fuck you then. Yeah.
Number 1 for me. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Stepped all over it.
Is the film. Can't believe you didn't go with the best character in the movie, Wallace.
Scott.
Wallace.
Scott.
The gay roommate.
He's good.
Played by the good Culkin. I can't believe you didn't go with Wallace. Do yourself a favor, everyone. There are supercuts on YouTube called The Best of
What'd
Wallace.
You just say?
There are supercuts on YouTube called The Best of Wallace from Scott Pilgrim. Do yourself a favor and fire that up and just enjoy. Although, see the movie if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah, just enjoy The Best of Wallace.
Do you remember there's a brief period where like Scott Pilgrim was getting a whole lot of shit? People were saying only hipsters liked it and it wasn't that good.
I think it was more nerds and like gamers and stuff who liked it, but yeah, there was a little blowback, but it's a fun movie.
I think it's my second favorite Edgar Wright movie I've seen.
Behind.
Yeah, like Shaun of the Dead. It's just fucking great. It's great.
Do you like Hot Fuzz that much?
Hot Fuzz was all right. It just left me kind of at the end. Like the big climactic scene with the slow motion running and stuff. I was just kind of like.
Timothy Dalton was so great in the movie.
I love Hot Fuzz. Love.
Yeah.
Do you? All right. Maybe it's me. Could be
me.
No,
you're right. Shaun of the Dead's fantastic. And
Shaun of the Dead's
so
just
is this.
Classic.
In fact, I think Scott Pilgrim might be my number 1 Edgar Wright film. That and Baby Driver.
What?
No.
Get the fucking.
That
All
and
right.
The World's End.
One of my favorite people in the world. Hey, I'm gonna spend like 5 days with him and his family in New York. He's like my best friend.
Is it me?
He and his wife love Baby Driver. That they named their fucking dog Baby, and I have to
Really?
spend 5 days with their dog in New York.
Baby Driver's okay.
No.
I'd name my
It's-
dog after it.
That Ansel Adams fucker, I hate him so much.
Ansel Elgort?
I hate him so much. I hate him so.
Why?
God, that movie thinks. Fuck that movie.
It's a fine movie.
No, it's terrible. Okay, it's everything I hate about.
Hate that song. Hate
Which song?
that fucking song, Baby Driver.
Is there a song called Baby?
Yeah.
Huh?
Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what the movie's?
I'm sure
know.
it must be. Fuck that song.
All right, where are we at?
Number one for you,
number
buddy.
one for me. It's a layup. I mean, it's Bob. It's Doug. It's the McKenzie brothers. Strange Brew. Don't shake your fucking head.
No, I'm glad you mentioned it.
How dare you?
I have no
1983
I have
as
no
well.
Love. I have no love for Bob and Doug.
Same year as the Terry Fox story, Heart of a Champion. We also were gifted with Strange Brew, and it's
I prefer the Mooses.
It's a fantastic representation. While a bit over the top, I think it's a celebration of Canadian culture, and in the most offensive Canadian way, which is still fun and
Right.
cute and fine and unoffensive, really, because well, at least for my money. I'll be shocked if it's not on the listener list. I watched this. I had the record, and they come from SCTV, right?
Yes, correct.
And I was fans of both those fellas
Terrific.
as a child.
Yeah,
Why do you dislike?
I saw the movie way too late in my life. By the time I saw it, I was like, I don't think I was able to finish it.
They
was like-
celebrate Canadianism like to an extent that no one knows.
No, they're lovable and they're iconic, but just
They feed the dog beer.
didn't land.
It opens up with the MGM, and they're cranking the tail of the lion. They fed him beer. The lion burps instead of roars. It's
fun.
good. It's very good stuff. They wear toques, Brian. Both of them. Take off to the Great White North, Brian.
I understand.
Rush is a big part of the movie, Brian.
You know what? Never liked Rush.
I never
And
really
feel
got
like
it.
I feel
Oh,
like
Rush is like one of the tightest bands ever.
yeah, like real music
Are you
hipsters.
serious?
love
I
Rush.
went down to Rush. Like I got really into Rush for around a year and a half as a
Some people love
teenager.
it.
Yes,
They're just like-
Rush
they're-
is religion.
Their rhythm is so, their music is just so tightly. There's
I
no
know.
jamming going on. It's
For
just
me,
tight
it's the Wes
formation.
Anderson effect, where it's like, I'm not smart enough. Sorry, guys. If you love them, good for you.
Yeah, they're extremely talented. It just doesn't.
I'm not gonna shit on them as musicians. just
Tom
know
Sawyer.
that
Tom Sawyer is one of the first like adult songs I ever heard as a kid, and I was like, it opened my mind. It was that, and I got some Aussie Black Sabbath stuff. Like
Black
my
Sabbath
neighbor,
fucking rules.
my neighbor made me a little mixtape, and it changed my entire life.
That's quite a quite a pairing.
It was, yeah, it was Tom Sawyer and Iron Man and like some other The Jam. I got really into The Jam too. Yeah,
Jam.
oh, the fucking Jam rules. Yeah,
Little War Pigs in there.
War Pigs was not on that one. No. Give me Jane's Addiction's War Pigs all day. Was that Jane's Addiction? No.
Cake did one.
Cake did one? No, so did Faith No More.
Oh, Sabbath fucking rules.
Yeah, all right, sorry for that,
That's-
Jack.
Sorry,
I
bitch.
got really into Rush for a second.
Didn't mean to prolong your suffering. What's Mitch's number one?
Number one for Mitch Burns is Diane Dupre and Steve Dupre in the movie Mommy, directed by Canadian director Xavier Dolan.
Wow.
Steve is a young boy with ADHD and attachment disorder living in Quebec with his mother, and they have a very raw and rough relationship. This movie is lovely and sad, heartwarming and heartbreaking. One of my all-time favorites.
I don't know Mommy. This
No,
makes
I
me
don't either.
This brings me pain.
Tell me more about Mommy. Does anyone know what year?
That's all I know.
Oh no, Mommy director also made a movie called I Killed My Mother, so he's got a bit of a
Full circle.
mommy issue.
What
sounds
year?
like.
Did he say what year it was?
I can tell you it's 2014.
Right.
Mommy. 8.0 on IMDb. 60,000 reviews. How do I not know about this? Oh no. 2 hours, 19 minutes, I'm out.
Corrections and retractions. Baby Driver is actually a pretty good song. There's another song I hate by Simon and Garfunkel.
I saw you listening to
There's another
something
song
on your phone just
I
now.
had to
Like,
correct, so I went, wait, this might be wrong. This might be terribly wrong, and I was wrong.
All right. Let's hear the listener list.
Thanks for
and,
the deep
Mommy.
pulls there, Mitch.
Oh, I also got to mention that what we're watching assigned to us
Oh, please.
is, hold on, stand by.
Please tell me it's Mommy.
It is not Mommy. I'm gonna bring it up. Did I close it out? You dumb fuck, Anderson. I guess I'll close it out. All right, why don't you do other stuff, Brian, and I will tell
Well,
you.
Avery is about to read off the listener top 5.
I also have rans from Mitch as well.
Oh,
But
please.
for the listener list, Mitch also wanted to let us know, sadly, he is out of the face of horror competition.
Come on.
But thank you to all who voted and supported our sweet Mitch Burns.
Thank you.
Oh, that sucks. Must be such a letdown.
Yeah, fuck whoever won. Number 5 for the listener list is Duke Kaboom, Toy Story 4. Number 4, David and Martin in Bon Cop, Bad Cop. Don't know what that is.
I came across that in my research. Never saw it.
Number 3, Terrence and Phillip in the South Park movie.
There
Mitch
you
asks, should he be offended?
Oh. Wait, these are all the rants?
Yes.
Mitch could be very offended by mine, number 1, I'm sure.
Number 2 is Wolverine.
But you didn't do it? You do your number 1.
Yeah, he's going to be offended.
Number 1 for the listener.
He's not with it. He's not sitting on the table, Brian, so he will hear this.
Bob and Doug McKenzie in Strange Brew.
There you go.
So you can be upset with me and the listeners at large. So we are going to be watching, I almost forgot to do this earlier in the episode, but we're going to be watching Willow for Danny Fitz. Willow, Brian, we're going back in time. Willow.
Watching the Disney series? Disney
Not
Plus?
the
Matt
series,
Bardigan
the movie,
film?
the original that led to this series, yes.
I'm sad to say that
What?
I think I've seen this, but I can't tell you for sure.
I know I saw Willow as a child, but it's
Yeah,
one of his
same.
favorite movies. Danny Fitz really wants us to bring Willow to the program.
Yeah.
We're going to do a bonus. We're going to add Willow. We're also going to be watching new movies, all right? It's going to be a little bit of an extended Flickfession next week. And then if you have it in you, it's a long week. For Just Tyler, we're going to watch Man of Tai Chi.
Man of Tai Chi.
All right? Those 2
I'll
movies
do
are
my
coming.
best.
No doing best. Just do. There is no do best. There's only do. There's only do.
Man of Tai Chi. There it is.
All right?
It is. Is that Keanu Reeves?
It is.
Oh, it's the stuntman. Yeah, I want to see this.
Well, you'll be watching that, but only after you watch Willow. So do your best.
I'll do what I can.
All right. Let's wrap this guy up. Sorry that I let you down with the Canadian
No, we're used to it.
list.
We're used to
However, Mommy is a movie that should have been seen by both of us, and I will probably have to be seen very soon, I think.
What's
Almost like an
coming out
assigner.
this one? We got to gamble, so let's wrap it up.
Last week we gambled on the highly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, we were on 1 point of each other, right?
Anderson gets 59, Brian 58.
Nice.
With 141 reviews, the actual Rotten
So
Tomatoes
stoops.
score is 28.
Huge.
Making
Well,
Brian.
No one here wins
winner.
except for me, but none of us should be considered a winner, except for me.
We're getting close to being caught up there, so let's continue to do
This
this.
is exciting.
All right.
Just in time for award season. All right, Avery, what are we gambling on this week?
This week we are gambling on Sofia Coppola movie, Priscilla.
Oh, fuck, the Elvis pairing?
The very same. Did we need this?
We need it all.
We're gonna get Lisa Marie soon.
Did we need it so soon after?
Is this really the biggest movie that's coming out?
Yeah, it's not a big week.
Wow.
I don't remember this one. Who directed it? Who's in it?
Sofia Coppola and
Oh, yeah, of course.
I
Of
don't
course,
know
of
who
course.
else.
Yes.
I don't know who stars in it.
I don't know if they're big actors.
I have a number.
It's about Elvis is in this too.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oof. It's a rough week.
Go
All right.
over. Bring it home. Bring it home.
You got a number?
Yeah.
All right, on 3.
1, 2,
2,
68.
Oh, very close again. Shoot, I went too high.
Anderson gets 68. Brian, what, 70?
70.
Priscilla, we need it though. We really need it.
This is this filling a void in our culture.
Well, currently with 93 reviews, the current Rotten Tomatoes score says the critics do need it. It's at 90%.
Yes.
Good not like.
That's not dropping by 21. Feeling good.
Why do
Feeling
the
really
critics
good.
need it? Why do they need this?
I might see it. I might not. Is it long? Do we know if it's a long movie?
It is, let's see the runtime, hour 53. Not crazy,
The streaming?
but also not interested.
Also not good.
Now, if this thing was called Elvis,
Now you're talking.
I know. I had to watch that.
Dude, if Austin Butler makes a cameo in this as Elvis.
That's the thing is you're not going to... I'm just going to be mad it's not Austin Butler in it.
Yeah, right? Like, can Elvis measure up? Probably not.
I
don't know. Do we need this?
No, it's already been answered. No.
All right.
We don't really. I don't think we need any more Sophia movies. Do we?
What's her best movie?
Her best one was Lost in Translation.
right?
But I was like kind of on an island by myself, hating that movie. I really disliked.
Do we need to see that?
No. I think it's good, but it's another slow, bleak slog. It's not fun.
I don't need that.
It's low on the fun scale. Low.
All right, I'm looking ahead at the questions.
Anderson is reading.
No, I'm reading questions because we're about to do a bonus episode just for the Patreon listeners. And
yes,
we're rounding out our answering of the questions, which I really enjoyed doing it with you last month, and I thought that the listeners liked it, but they didn't like it quite as much as I thought they would. Like some of the comments were like, do it twice a year maximum. Some people are like every other month do it. A lot of people recognize that it doesn't take a lot of research on our part.
It's nice.
So what we're gonna do?
Extremely lazy format.
It's not though, because we're pretty much recounting history that took years and years and years. Yeah. And we end up getting like in the weeds and talking about stuff that we normally wouldn't talk about on the show, and a lot of like history and stuff
enjoy
that we've gone through.
Thank you, Avery.
But you're not a voting member anymore. You're part of the program. But I appreciate that.
But we were remiss not to pay off the second half.
So, we're gonna answer the rest of the questions, talk about God knows what, and we're also gonna fill it out with a red light, green light that we did, which with Florence a bit ago. Marry, Fuck, Kill, another rendition of that, which is always fun. But then we're going to leave it up to you guys in the comments to come up with the next topic, and whichever one we like most will be the next Patreon top 5. What's that?
Top 5 athletes, actors who could pass.
You want to do that for Patreon?
Yeah.
Because I hate that topic. It's so dumb.
I hate just hearing him say it.
I know.
I just like your reaction at this point. Top 5 actors who play convincing athletes.
Tom Cruise in like 3 different movies.
No,
and then what? Yeah,
he's
he's
not
great.
convincing at all.
Paul Giamatti in the Holdovers.
That's right.
There's a scene where he picks up a football and wings it. It's so comical.
A very bad role. It's a very bad role.
I love that character. I fucking love that. And I knew exactly what they were going for. And I'm like, we've seen this character before. But Giamatti just, he fucking made the most of that character.
Yeah, it was good. It was really well done, for sure. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for being part of the show. Wait, hold on.
You can check out Comedy Confessional.
Oh, yeah.
There's airs. You can see it tomorrow in Santa Monica. You can check us out Instagram at Confess Comedy. The show is at 8, and it'll be a lot of fun.
8 to 9:30ish.
Yeah, 8 to 9:30ish. So you got time to get in. You can have dinner before. You can leave drinks afterwards.
Ample parking.
Easy parking.
That's the best thing I can say about the show is like you don't have to, you won't be looking for parking.
That's
Stress-free. That's the greatest thing I can say for the show. I can also say this. Jillian and I are actually going out on the town to see the show
all the
this
way
week.
to Santa Monica.
I know, and it's rare. Jillian and I never go out, but I've been telling her about Avery's
That's
show
a
for a
long
while,
journey for
and
you.
she loves Avery, and I'm very excited. My buddy Brian Border is actually watching Atticus for us. We don't ever get babysitters.
Nice.
And Brian Border, one of my
Best
favorite
Brian.
people in the world. Bestest Brian.
Good dude.
That's what he's called, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be watching Atticus for us. Atticus is very nervous because he's never really been watched by anyone he doesn't know. It's
You're
always
kidding.
like his grandma or us. Really.
All right.
And he's like, is he nice, Daddy?
Oh,
I'm like,
Brian's
this
very nice.
Brian Border will fuck you up, dude. Be careful. You watch what you say around
He's down
Brian
for
Border.
a jack move.
He's a camp counselor. Right?
He's a
That's
good-
why
he's a
I'm
good
at
dude. I like
Border.
Brian a lot.
And he is probably the strictest camp counselor I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, he just whips kids into shape.
Can't
he makes
see
them
it.
do cancer kids. He makes them do push-ups like 6 in the
Put
morning.
those eyeballs back in your head.
Oh my God, that came up
That's
in the
right.
interview.
Dom told me he thought that
did he?
story was great.
Oh yeah, cool.
I'm like, I've heard it before.
How dare you, Brian?
If you heard me snickering in the background, it was
Have you heard that story before?
Yeah.
It's
a great story.
It's a good story.
Thank you for sharing that with our...
Let's keep that in Brian's world.
Speaking of which, thank you so much, Neil Orange Peel, for the great listener art. If you heard me snickering in the background, I was laughing at that. Good stuff, as always, Neil. Check that out at AndersonandBryan.com. That is where you go to tap that Amazon banner. You know what? Probably going to stop splitting these into...
You said that last time, and I said no.
I know you got a lot going on, but it's fine.
That would require effort that I do not want to put in.
Thanks, Schultz.
Well, I like our quotes on your on the movie poster.
That's
very
enjoyable. Thanks, Schultz, being our featured artist this week. Check them out, along with the artwork at AndersonandBryan.com. That's where you go to tap that Amazon banner. Thank you in advance. Anderson and Bryan on Instagram, Anderson and Bryan on TikTok, The Film Vault, Facebook and Twitter, The Film Vault Podcast on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, thanks Eric Kath for helping us out over there. Appreciate you. Thanks Giovanni. Mitch Burns, especially Mitch Burns, for sending us a great topic this week. And Mike Cole. Hey, cannot forget Nick Eats Cake for assigning us a film this week. Dogs Don't Wear Pants. Appreciate you, Nick. Mr. Eats Cake. Appreciate you a lot. And thanks for assigning us topics. Thanks for assigning us movies. You guys always come through. Check us out on Patreon/TheFilmVault. And is that it? Till next time.
We do it for Van Gogh.
Believe in what you said was real, that we'll be together forever.